Hey, Bob.
What's happening?
Hello. Here we go. Turn that off so we don't.
Right, now have you got the link there, Mark?
I am just about to get that for you, and I'll drop it in the chat box,
Right.
okay? Is that good enough, or where would you like it?
Yeah. Sweet. No, yeah.
Good. Just drop her in there. We can go paste. I haven't invited Bada Bing. I've invited everyone else, like Hoof and that. I haven't got Bada Bing set up as someone to invite, so to speak. But I sent it out to public as well, so it's live.
Right, cool.
Right. We're back. Just minimise that. Right. So, when's Butter? Did you say he's on another chat?
Yeah, he's on Facebook. You know what link it is, don't you?
No.
You see the Hangout window on your desktop?
Yeah, I'm in the Hangout. Yeah.
Yeah, you copy the link, like the address. So you see the address bar. Copy that link and post it in the chat box. So then I can copy it and then I can put it on Facebook or post it on your Facebook.
Okay, I'll do that. That'll be easier. I'll just go over here and jump on Facebook on the server. Incoming video call from boppa. Oh, and so if I just post it on my timeline, you'll get it, yeah?
Yeah, if you just tag me in it. You've got a few profiles on there, haven't you?
Not on Facebook. I've just got two Gmail or two Google Plus accounts. They both link back to the same Facebook account on different computers. Anyway, I've posted that, so that link should be coming across now.
Yeah, got it.
All sorted?
Yeah. Let me get that too.
Cool. I don't know who's going to show up at this time of night, but...
Yeah, he's a bad man, so what he's saying. He's going to want the YouTube link as well. I'll get that off your thing now anyway. I'll get that.
What's Teacup up to? Is he vanished off somewhere, mate?
I think he's a bit scared of Ledge.
Think what?
I think he's a bit scared of him.
What's better? I don't know about that. You still there? Still there? You there, Teacup? Hello. And you would be back.
What channel are you broadcasting this one on, Mark? Is it...
How do you mean, what Google channel?
Yeah.
It's under Mark and Man. That's the secondary one. I usually use commonly, but Mark and Man set up for the server. And I've called it badda, boppa, bing. But the camera and the mic isn't working on the server, which is why I'm using this one here to talk to it. Right. Let's see. If I can make the camera kick in. Hello, hello, hello. Cool. That's working. Right. That's interesting. So now I can watch myself on that one going to that one. Huh, funky. Right. Honestly.
Don't know what happened there.
Hey, Bob, you're back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I didn't even know the hangout had cut out then.
Someone's messing with us. Could be your Wi-Fi. Who knows? I'm just trying to get this stupid camera on the server to go without turning it off. It's not easy. If I vanish, I'll always be back. Just always got to duck out and make sure everything else is cool out there.
Yeah, man. Should you work then, Mark?
Pardon?
Do you work then? What
I
work
work.
did you do?
I do everything. I
Yeah.
as far as work, I was up until about 8 years ago a self-employed contractor for Sky TV doing satellite installations and all sort of jazz like that. And prior to that, I don't know, about 27 odd years ago, I had a brain aneurysm, which sort of gives me chronic migraines and headaches. So up until 8 years ago, I was quite happily working doing the same shit as I always do, just whatever for anyone. I don't care. And yeah, then I started getting what's called trigeminal neuralgia with ice pick migraines. I've got like a 10 mil borehole here in my head, and around here there's a trigeminal nerve, and what happens, it feels like someone's stabbing an ice pick or a knitting needle through your skull, and it's really debilitating. You can feel it coming on for 5-10 seconds, and then that's it. I'm in pain for a couple of minutes, and then I come right again, and that'll be from 10 times, 30 times, 50 times a day sometimes, depending on the stress levels and how bright it is, very photosensitive. But yeah, I started getting those seizures when I was climbing up and down ladders on second-story buildings and started falling off the ladders. So they said, "Yeah, you can't do that shit anymore." So yeah, for the last 8 years, I look after my family, mate. That's where I have my obligations too. My wife's waiting some sort of operation to try and help her get back up on her feet again properly. And I look after the kids in the house and everything. That's it. That's what I do. I work. I do everything. I'm a house husband, mate. That's the toughest job out there. You know. But you know, I do lots of work for different people, but I don't necessarily do it for money.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't have to act in commerce with their shit. Just I've got to pop back from a.
Cool, mate.
My lovely wife decided to give me a kiss. That was what that was. Well, up to there. Oh, back again. Yeah.
Well, Mark, listen, I'm just going to make saturate you. I'm just going to mute this. I'll be back though. I'll only be 5 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So let's see what I can give people to watch while I'm here doing these wonderful things. Let's see what YouTube has to show us today, shall we, people? We have certain intelligence agencies created ISIS, says the Iranian president. Airstrikes extremely imprecise, always cause massive destruction, reports RT. Striking Syria will cause blowback in Europe, also reports RT. Obama accused of behaving like Bush before Iraq war. We've got James Slattery, the Real Voice competition. We have Conspiracy Scope with the typical Alex Jones podcast that he does. We have a few other things. Global Leaks is releasing the American ISIS oil strikes on the oil refinery. Now bear in mind, people, okay, the US are out there blowing up oil refinery. This is something that we all need. So what do you think that's going to do to the price of petrol and oil and anything else that's petroleum based, like rubbers, plastics, anything? Your canola oil. I mean, it's ridiculous. So yeah, they're currently cutting off their nose to spite everybody's face. RT, UN like very sick patient who nobody had the heart to euthanize. Yeah, that'd be right. It was created almost 60, 70 years ago, and it really has no purpose now other than be the bully in the playground. It seems like individual countries like to just ignore and do what they want anyway. You know, it's standard practice. We learn it from the local governments. They do what they want, and we have to abide by their rules. So you've just got to think about those things. Okay. What else do we have here? Bada bing!
Howdy doody.
How you going, Bada? Yes, you are seeing
Testing
double.
1 2. Yeah, am I coming through?
Oh, you are, my friend. You are.
Am I coming?
My, my fucking God, you're seeing double there. But that's because that handsome fella holding the law book's also me. But shit happens. What are you up to,
How
better?
are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm just killing time, waiting for other people to show
Can you
back
hear
up.
me? Yeah.
No, I can hear you. Yeah, man. Yep. Can you hear me?
All right. All right. Sound. I'm just gonna go and pop. Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna go and pop the kettle on. I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Sweet as, man. I'm just looking through YouTube, talking to nobody.
Cool, cool.
Cool, mate. Okay. Let's have a look at some of my stuff. Seeing we're here, we might as well. Everyone else is making a couple. See what my channel has to say for itself. Well, this is a secondary channel. Let's look at my other channel. Okay. Okay. Let's see what some of the videos we have here, people. Alright, so we have let's go for this one.
Got my coffee. I'm gonna roll a zoot. Yo, it's pretty quiet in here, isn't it? You fucking bunch of munchkins. So you ain't
Oh,
got
Rick.
fuck all to say. You ain't got fuck all to say when I'm not about, have you? Evidently.
Yeah, I guess it's a really quiet night out there in Hangout World, mate. Um, it's only midday over here in New Zealand, so I suppose it's what 1 o'clock in the morning over there now, is it?
I got a theory, right? Yeah, I got a theory. I'm gonna put upon you.
Go for it.
You know these people that say statutes and acts don't apply to me. You know these people that say statutes and acts don't apply to me. It's not law. Rah rah rah. Yeah. Have you heard them?
Yeah.
Have you heard these people? Yeah.
Yes.
Have you heard of these people that say stuff that and make these claims? Yeah.
Yes, I have.
You know. Well. Right then.
Yeah, I have, mate.
In England, I don't know what part of the world you're in. In
Zealand.
Britain, right? Yeah. There's such a thing called the age of consent. It's a statutory obligation. Right, yeah. And what it does, for instance, if there was a naive 14, 15-year-old girl or boy, you know, dating like a mature 20-year-old woman or man or something like that, it's prosecutable, even if they consented. Even though they can't legally consent, even if they were a willing participant. Right, it can still be prosecutable in a court of law because, you know, it's what?
Up until what age?
Up until the age of 16.
Okay. Yep. Carry on.
16.
Yep.
Right. So there's just a line in the sand. It's not perfect, but that act of Parliament, that statutory obligation, is just a line in the sand. It's not designed to prosecute kids of similar ages sexually experimenting. For instance, if a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old got together and got pregnant and had a child, that's not prosecutable, right? It's not designed to prosecute that. Children of similar ages sexually experimenting is perfectly natural, and the law interprets that even at a parliamentary level. So it's to protect the vulnerability and naivety of young adults. It's just a line in the sand. It's not perfect, but it's a reasonable age. It's when people can leave school if they want, and leave care if they can prove themselves to be competent and to fend for themselves. So my theory is these people out there like pushing statutes and acts and not real law and all this stuff, trying to somehow subvert the age of consent statute to because like around Europe the age of consent is about 13, 14 and stuff like that. It's a lot lower. There's a lot of European talk coming in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and essentially these people walking the streets of England and Britain, if that's what they want to claim it to be, are undermining that. And they're actually, by saying stuff like that, they're opening their kids up to exploitation and their teenage kids and stuff like that. And as it stands right now, these people are walking around and basically saying, I don't give a fuck about your age of consent statutes, they don't apply to me, which makes you a danger to children. It's one and the same thing. Last night I was going on about two paths leading to the same juncture. If you're walking around the streets of England, right, dictating to people that uphold the law that you don't stand under acts and statutes of Parliament, right, yeah, and they don't apply to you, you're basically admitting, right, yeah, via a different path that you're a danger to children and you should be on some sort of register. So maybe it's a law model, a failed law model, being imposed by essentially sexual predators, yeah. And what they're doing is they're getting innocent, naive, vulnerable people. They're getting innocent, naive, vulnerable people, via YouTube propaganda and all that, giving it to the man, getting out there and doing it for themselves on the streets and hiding amongst, genuine innocent people thinking that they're standing up for themselves.
Who's benefiting from it? Isn't it? Like you're saying that it's been set up to see who benefits. So who benefits the most? Well, all the kids are the ones that are getting abused and shit. So who's the fuck doing the abusing? They're the ones that are benefiting. So yeah, it's set up to benefit them, not.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, the way I see it is there's something underhanded going on here, isn't there? Do you know what I'm saying? Blatantly.
Oh.
Right, yeah, because when I mentioned to these free men types about acts and statutes and the age of consent and stuff like that, obviously it's a heated debate, isn't it? It's very heated when it comes down to sexual crimes towards children and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, but that's a common law thing. The family will deal with it. Rah rah rah. It'd be down to the family. No harm loss. And I'm like, well, no, because you get like you know, flippant teenagers that do things to piss parents off, and if there's other adults out there of, you know, stronger mental faculties that can exploit that, they will. Obviously, you know what I mean? Yeah, if they can get
Yeah.
away with it legally as well, you don't want to be justifying that and have that exploitation pounced upon, I suppose. It goes on enough already anyway, reportedly. So why try to legitimize this process and these people by saying that things like statutes and acts don't? I mean, you're not legitimizing it, but you are telling the system that you're a danger openly and admitting it. The
Mm.
thing is, isn't it? Like when a certain amount of people do it, I can't see 90%, you know, over 70% of this land being fooled by fucking YouTube propaganda and going on the streets and doing all this shit. But like, if something like that happened, the government would have to represent that ignorance. Do you get me? His hands would be tied, essentially. Like I said, that's the voice that's voting it in. So it is dangerous ground, very dangerous ground, man. And the more people that believe in this sort of bullshit sort of law that's unfounded, right? Yeah, it's completely unfounded. You get people claiming common law, not maritime, and are you a public servant? Because I'm a member of the public, and I've proved tonight that in first edition constitutional law dictionaries, right? Yeah, making
What's
the claim I'm a member of the public is a maritime claim,
yeah, a member?
right?
Yeah.
And then you're
So,
actually asserting that these are public servants on the high seas, so to speak, or on the highway.
mm, mm. These are the
You
deckhands
know,
on the citizen.
there's some deep shit going on out there.
Yeah.
Some deep shit going on there, and the weak and vulnerable are falling for it. Oh, for those that haven't looked at Boppa wall today or tonight, I've actually posted on there that maxim I've been struggling to find for fucking a few days now. But I finally found it, right? Yeah, about something proved that wasn't even really in dispute is considered irrelevant. That was my interpretation of a maxim, and I quote it now word for word because it's on
Okay.
Boppa. Just posted it there. Once, my computer's just
On his
frozen.
Facebook page. Yeah.
Yeah, I posted a bit of work on his wall today, innit? I've posted a bit of work on his wall today to correspond really, or correlate with the hangouts that we've been having, innit? Right, look. Right then, listen.
Yeah.
Quod consat clare non depet verificare, yeah? What is clearly apparent need not be proved. Right, yeah? So now, that's a maxim of law, right, yeah? Or guidance of law, if you will, right? You're in a court of law and you've already studied about the judge's judicial oath. And you know about it. You obviously know they know about it because you're asking them if they're on it. Now, hang on, let me finish. Don't fucking interrupt.
No, carry on,
man. Don't dare interrupt me here. Right? You know, I've been hounded to prove where it said that in the days, and I've racked my brain to go and find it again, right? Yeah, and I've proved it. So let me have my fucking, you know.
Just agree.
Just pause your microphone then, yeah, because this has got to be crisp.
Sure.
Just pause your microphone a sec. Right, you're in a court of law for council tax or whatever dispute with whoever over anything. You might not even be a defendant, you might be prosecuting someone. Don't always look at law from one side, like, oh, you're always going to be the defendant, because that's how guilty people think. If you're going to think like a guilty man, you are a guilty man. But anyway, you're in a court of law over any dispute and you're saying, are you on your oath? So you know of its existence. You're also assuming and presuming that the judicial officer in front of you knows of its existence, but you're not there for that. The case is not today about that judge's oath. But if you want it acknowledged, right? Yeah. Even if you proved it, or the judge proved it right in front of you, it had nothing to do with the council tax, right? Yeah. So it means nothing. You know it's there because you're asking them if they're on it. Right, yeah, and you're also presuming they know it's there because, like, you've educated yourself to know about it, and it's common knowledge, legal knowledge that they swear and they swear an oath and they're sworn in, right? Yeah. So even if that's proved it will make no difference to your case. So you acknowledge and accept their oath of office, out of their office, creating impartiality in accordance with the law. Right? And that's my point. Right, yeah? Like, something that's proved, that wasn't even in question or dispute, as very little. And going in there and causing that controversy, like I said to Boppa, like yesterday, you have three strike you out. There's old Latin law that actually dictates, in it, that if someone, if you are in that position, in the defendant's point of view, then, and you're saying the same thing 3 times, right? Yeah, well, that's it. You're in dishonor. Even if you're right, you're in dishonor. Right, yeah? You repeated yourself 3 times. You've got 3 chances to stand in honour. That it will be adjourned, you'll be took down, put on remand, and you'll get given another chance. You get brought back a few days later, a few weeks later, or whatever. That's your second chance. Right, yeah? And on the third chance, right, yeah, and this is the same on the streets. When it's law, it applies to everything. When you're engaged with a police or a constable on the streets, and you repeat yourself 3 times, well, they're servants of the law. And now you've caused controversy, right, yeah? Even if you're right, they can take you back for further investigation. Even if you're right. And if they're wrong, it's just an apology. Sorry, mate, off you go. Bang. That's it. Because you caused the controversy. And there's no court of the law that's ever going to slap them about for it. And the reason why, and I've listened back on a few shows as well, innit, where like in certain jurisdictions or certain towns, innit, they go, you'll have to go out of town, mate, because we're all sort of like, you know, together. They won't prosecute your own. That doesn't mean that they're corrupt. Imagine the saying, get out of town. Like, they know you're stupid. They know you haven't got a case. Right? And they're like, get out of town. Go and see someone. Like, basically, they're saying, do it for yourself. Get out. Stop going to all these other people, all these other agencies to do your work for you. Do it for yourself. Get out of town. Stop depending on other people. And if you're willing to drive to another town to get someone else to do it, then and then get told no again, then you know, if that doesn't hit home, then obviously you're saying every single town, everyone ever is all corrupt apart from you. Eventually it's going to hit home, innit? But it's you. It's you're the one that's misinterpreting this shit. You're the one that's getting it wrong. No one else. They're all doing their job accordingly. It might not be pleasant at times, and it might, you know, it might cause you some suffrage, or you know, or a suffering. But that, as it's been already declared on here, is perfect, legal and lawful, right? Because the word lawful is a legality. Not everything lawful is written, right? Yeah, it's perfectly lawful for me to go and pick a twig off a tree. It's not written in law, there is. It's not there cemented in law. I have the lawful right and fucking freedom and privilege to go and pick twigs off trees. It's not written, but it's a legality that you know, it's because it's not written in law, right? Yeah, means I can go and do it as well. That's the thing, right? Yeah, if it's not actually forbidden in law, written in stone by our ancestors and left there for us, where they've gone wrong and right in history throughout the ages of man, right? Yeah, and it hasn't been stood and used and left for descendants, right? Yeah, then it's lawful. Go and do it, man. Go and exploit it to the best of your ability. But that's where some people are breaking down in logic. Not everything that's lawful is written, right? Yeah, but everything written is legal. And if you're reading common law, no harm, no loss, no injury, that's another legality. The word lawful is a legality. The fact that you can go and pick a twig off a tree and it's not written in law is a legality. All right, yeah. If anything, I think what's captivating people, the word law is really strong. The word legality and legal is beefy. The word lawful is, it's all right. It's not too bad. And what people are doing, are thinking that lawful is beefy and legal is weak little thing, trying to make moves on the maybe when I'm not really that big and not really that bad. No, legal is big and beefy, and the word lawful is, you know, relatively weak, man. Because if you need to read in a book that you have the lawful privilege and right and freedom to go and pick twigs off trees, then you are an idiot, ain't you? Fuck it, man. You know what I mean? You need to be told what to do with every sort of fucking instance of your life, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? By something in a book, right? Yeah, book's there for wisdom and interpretation, and ambiguity is very powerful. And you know, life's a game. Don't hate the players that are just doing, you know, have learnt the game to the best of their abilities and playing it. Hate yourself, man. Focus upon yourself. But yeah, now I've proved everything that I've said and the maxims, and let's carry on with the conversation. I'm gonna roll.
So, but what's happening, badda? Anyway. Yeah, listen. So
Well, go on, man. Is this going out live on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah, on Mark's one, it's going out.
Oh, is it? Excellent, man. Give me the link to your YouTube after this show or in the chat, so I can put it in my group and share it amongst my pals.
Wait, listen, but what you're saying is then that everything that ain't written in law is alright. You can do it.
Right. Right. Listen, Bapalot, something. There's another maxim of law, and I'm sure you're not going to doubt me now because I'll find it if you do. Right. Yeah. There's another maxim of law that dictates something that's not defined is considered whole.
Yeah.
You're complete. Right. Like mum, dad. When a baby utters the words mum, dad. Right. That's complete. It's not defined in law. Whereas father, parent, those things will define legalities. Right,
yeah,
but mum and dad's not defined in law.
But yeah, but listen, there's also a maxim, yeah. There's like
so the fact that there isn't a law that states that you can go and pick twigs off trees means it's complete, it's whole, because it's not even defined or even opposed or contested.
Yeah, but
means you're free to go and do it without any.
But who's going to have a problem? Who's going to have a problem picking a twig off a tree?
Exactly, exactly. That's the point.
When does it?
Who would have wrote that? Who would have wrote that law though? Who would bother writing?
But that's the point, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, someone's saying, where does it say categorically in one sentence that we're all God's children or the earth's children, right? Yeah, and we're all children in law, right? Yeah. It's basically saying, right? Yeah, that where does it say in law? It's lawful, right? If I said to a copper, right? Yeah, it's lawful for me to pick fucking twigs off trees, and the copper goes, where does it say in law with that? I'd go, eh? What are you on about? Do you know exactly, Boppa? You've answered yourself, mate. This is the thing. You've just answered yourself. Right? Yeah, something that's not defined in law is considered whole. Right, yeah, the facts, right, yeah, that there isn't one definitive sentence that says everyone is the children of Mother Earth. Takes it for granted it's considered whole, that everyone is walking around on Earth with motion, right? Yeah, Earth is the principle. We as far as I am concerned, my life here right now, the Earth was here before me and was here longer than anyone else alive. Therefore, she's our mum. Right, yeah, and we are her children. That's just taken for granted. Just like it's not written in law that you can go and pick a twig off a tree. In exactly the same principle, but you know what?
Listen to what I'm going to say.
Spirit, I showed you yesterday how to get to the information that tells you, in essence, that we are all children of law, of the world. Like,
yeah. But listen, what I'm saying.
We're all masters of our own. We're all masters of our own destiny.
Wanted to regulate the matter in further detail. It did regulate the matter. When it did not want to regulate the matter in further detail, it remained silent. In the interpretation of a law, an excessively expansive interpretation might perhaps go beyond the intention of the legislator.
You've misinterpreted that as well.
Thus, we must adhere to what is in the text of the law and draw no material consequences from the law's silence. How can I misinterpret that?
Yeah, but you're misinterpreting it. Yep. You're misinterpreting it.
No, I'm not. You are.
You are.
No, you are.
No, that's when you're quoting a maxim. You're misinterpreting. I can give you another maxim of law that dictates, right? Yeah. But if you look at the words just skin deep, then you're not getting the true meaning of stuff. If you live your life, right? Yeah. So, right. Do you have the lawful freedom, Bapala, to go and pick a twig off a tree? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Now, if I tell you, go and show me where it says that in law, you're gonna struggle, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because there ain't gonna be no.
It's not defined, so it's considered whole, complete. It's not even an issue.
The law doesn't need to regulate the matter. If the law, unless somebody's saying that it's their trade.
So, what does the law need to regulate?
Well, if it's just, well, I don't know. You tell me. You're the one who's got an issue with picking twigs.
If you're telling me what the law doesn't need to regulate, you must know what it does need to regulate.
Well, yeah, it needs to regulate things that legislators want regulated.
Bob, Bob, are you familiar with what the word includes means?
What was that?
Include. If something's not included, it's therefore excluded. So if they're writing a sentence in an act saying that a person includes a body, corporate, corporation, soul, and an unincorporated body, everything other than those three things is excluded. It doesn't say everything's excluded, but the word includes is an exclusionary term. So much like law, if it's not included in law, then not so much it's excluded, but it's considered whole and therefore not bound by the law.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you agree with that, better?
Yeah. That does make sense. It does make sense.
Well,
but then the word included's got to be in the legislation.
From what
the legislation, isn't it?
I know, what's not defined in law.
That would be quoted, by the way, from the Interpretations Act, Section 29, 1999. That's what a person is.
If you're a royal vote, right, Buppalot's reading legislation, right, yeah? Right, and what date was this legislation written?
I'm reading, that's a maxim.
What are you referencing, Buppalot?
Maxim.
What maxim are you quoting? What's it called?
Uber lex voluit, dixit, ubi noluit, tacuit. Do you want me to spell it?
Right, now say it in English, like, clearly, precisely.
When the law wanted to regulate the matter in further detail, it did regulate the matter. When it did not want to regulate the matter in further detail, it remained silent. Then it's got open brackets. In the interpretation of the law, an excessively expansive interpretation might perhaps go beyond the intention of the legislator. Thus, we must adhere to what is in the text of the law and draw no material consequences from the law's silence.
Yeah, and I'm very well versed in that maxim, and I know how to interpret in it, and you are interpreting it wrong, right? Yeah. For instance, the legislator. Right. Well, let me explain why you're interpreting it wrong, right? Yeah. For instance, that interpretation is really to do as far as I'm concerned, right? Yeah, it was used as well in the right to bear arms in the American English written Constitution, right? The right to bear arms, muskets, and all that sort of stuff. That's it. The legislators wrote the right to bear. I'm fucking explaining, man. I'm explaining why you're misinterpreting it. I'm giving you an example where a legislator goes beyond the intent of the. Yeah, well, let me finish, man. I'm giving you an example where I'm giving you. Right, listen, you've just read a maximum of law, and I'm giving you an example of where a legislator went beyond the intent of the legislation, right? In order for it to make sense to you, right? I'm giving you an example in English law, English American constitutional law, because the American Constitution was written in English, and I can give you a specific bit of that amendment, right? Yeah, which legislators wrote, which went beyond the intent of the legislation itself, right? So let me get there, and I'm well versed in this maxim and this point of law because I've listened to Supreme Court judges for hours on end on their live, not live, but recorded, hearings and stuff on constitutional law, right? So, and they were discussing this exact point, and this is the point, right? Yeah, when in this particular bit of constitutional law, the legislators wrote the right to bear and keep arms, right? And that obviously went to everyone, but it was only implied for the militia, right? Yeah. But obviously, that was the intent, just for the militiamen to keep muskets in their house if ever they needed to be called to battle, or to hear a meeting where there was a dispute over civil claims, civil rights, whatever. In the where you got 500 men on one side, and they all hit the town hall until they come to an agreement and they all part ways again. Right? Yeah? So that's how business was done back then, according to some sort of stuff. It weren't as Wild West as people make out, but as the movies make out, so to speak. But anyway, The right to bear and keep arms obviously goes to every other citizen. It went beyond the legislation's intent. It was legislated for everybody that's an American citizen. Whereas it was only intended to be written for the militiamen, right? Yeah, that were to bear and keep arms, to be called to fight for battle at any given moment. But obviously, the intent of the legislation was that, but it expanded beyond that for everybody else to freely to keep a gun for their own safety in their own homes in order to legitimize it for the militiamen in the first place. Right. So in order to legitimize that legislation in law, it had to apply to everyone that claimed to be an American citizen. But the intention of the legislation was created purely for the sole use of the militiamen. Right. That was the intent. Right. But the legislation far superseded the intent of the legislation to make it constitutional, and that in essence is a great example to explain how sometimes legislation is created for one thing and one purpose, but it extends to everything, right? Yeah, in order to make it constitutional, lawful, legal, and to coincide with the Studder's Use written law of man. Right, now, does that make sense to you? Now, where silence is concerned, everyone's heard of acquiescence. Silence means that you've agreed, it's consent, rah, rah. Only when, and I can show you the maxim of law that dictates this, your interests are at stake. If you have no interests or you're not going to lose nothing, you can just shut the fuck up. If you know you've got nothing to lose, you don't need to utter a word. If your interests are at stake, then it's best to say something. Yeah, right. Whatever the circumstance. But if you got no interest in the scenario, if you got nothing to lose, take nothing off you, and they can't do anything, right? Yeah, then remain in silence doesn't prove your guilt whatsoever. It doesn't agree to anything, right? Yeah, you've got nothing to lose, and no one can prove you guilty anyway. If you know you can't be proven guilty, being silent. Right, yeah, it doesn't prove you guilty, like in interviews and stuff like that, or in front of the old bill. When it gets to a court of law, your interests are at stake. If it gets to a court of law where your jury's there, and you can get sentenced and your life can be imposed upon, your interests are at stake in a court of law. But in front of the police, in front of in the interview room, in any other point, right, yeah, if you are innocent and you know you're genuine and you have no interests in whatever the fuck they're saying and no reason to ever prove your innocence to them in the first place, then remaining in silence doesn't prove you're guilty. But in a court of law, right, yeah, your interests are at stake, right? Yeah? If you can clearly see there's a jury there or there's someone there willing to put you in a fucking prison cell, then you have an interest in that, right? Yeah. But being taken back to a police station, you know what I mean? Yeah, to sort out a dispute, that's a minor. If they're wrong, you can get a bit of cash back for your time if you know what you're doing and deal with it amicably. Don't ask for millions of pounds, you know what I mean? You're going to get like an average £8 an hour wage or whatever, you know what I mean? If you were held for 8 hours, you're going to get 70 odd quid or 100 quid, right? Yeah? If you know how to administrate it coherently, honourably, without threatening to sue people and all that. If you know the law, you just do it. Right? Yeah, you don't need to threaten anyone with like suing people and things like that. Yeah? So does that explain that to you then, Boppa? Yeah, remaining silent if you're innocent doesn't necessarily mean that you're admitting to guilt. That's bullshit, and I can show you the maximum of law that dictates that. Only if your interests are at stake, right? Yeah, that's when you're obviously assuming a bit of agreement there. If you have got an interest in something, right? Yeah, in like yourself for starters, and you know your life can be imposed upon, and you say nothing, when you're obviously agreeing to it because you knew it could happen, right? Yeah, but a copper picking you up, taking you back for further investigation to sort out a dispute, you can't stop that, right? Yeah, you can't ever stop that, and that's what they're employed to do. That's what we would want them to do if no one had done it, because like you say, kids go missing and things like that. You know what I mean? And it isn't what you're saying, Boppa, as well. I heard you the other day, innit? I've been listening to a few of your other shows. 14,000 kids a year go missing, man. There's 70 odd million, 14,000 runaways, right? Yeah, and believe me, if they were minors, like 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds, 3-year-olds, right? Yeah, there'd be uproars, hysteria. if you're a dad yourself, you know what mums are like, and I do as well. There'd be hysteria, eyeballs would be popping out. Everyone, the whole town would know about it. Newspapers would know about it. Helicopters get sent up, mate. If they were proper little kiddies, right, yeah, you'd fucking know about it. Most of them are teenage runaways and stuff like that. Hit the streets of London, get into the sex in the streets, very murky and all that. Like, yeah, it happens. It's dirty, it's horrible, it's shady, but it happens. And put 14,000 a year out of 70 odd million. It's not really a statistic, mate. It's like it's the average runaway. It really is. It's not, there's a hysteria that can be put in that, but that's not 14,000 3-year-olds being kidnapped from their mothers and eaten by Illuminati royal family. That's not happening, dickhead, right? Yeah, because if there was, there'd be mums all up and down this street. I've seen a town when a kid went missing and the helicopters, everyone got stopped by the fucking roundabouts and all their cars got searched and everything, right? Yeah, and it turned out to be a false alarm. That was a false alarm, right? Yeah, so believe me, mate, there's a lot of UK column bullshit out there, and a lot of twaddle pressing on the matter, trying to fill your head full of shit. But you're mad, man. You think mums would just like no police action, no nothing, because their 3-year-old's gone fucking missing? And you're crazy, mate. They would be going hysterical. They'd be jumping off bridges. They'd eventually kill themselves. Them suicides would be known about, and and then that story would come out. Why? Because the police didn't investigate a 3-year-old going missing. You're off your tits if you believe that shit. Right? Statistically, under the age of 16, they can be classed as children, minors. And that's what so people like the UK column go, on average, statistics believe 14,000 children a year go missing. And these are firm figures from the national fucking rah office. Because under 16-year-olds have to be classed as fucking children. That's why. And they're twisting that to generate more fear, more fucking bullshit, and twist your mind up, mate, to get you on the streets protesting like some little government gimp. Yeah? It's not what you think it is, man. And obviously, yeah, some of it's a bit seedy, but the Madeleine McCanns and the train track kid, Jamie Bulger and that, mate, when things like that happen, there's an uproar. You're not hiding that. You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen every fucking day, 14,000 times a year. You're off your tits if you think there's a Jamie Bulger happening or a Madeleine McCann happening 14,000 times a year or anywhere close to that. They're teenage kids running away and just doing drugs and getting high and stuff. That's what's happening there, man. Yo, hurry back, buckle up. Get what I mean, though, buckle up. There's some sharks out there trying to twist people's minds up, man, and generate loads of fear and hysteria.
I don't know, man. I got lost, badda, man. I just let you finish saying what you were saying. I weren't really listening, but what I wanted to say was, when you mentioned the Bill of Rights, who was the legislator? Who wrote that?
For the American Constitution, the American English written Constitution.
That's the one you was talking about, wasn't it? The American Bill of Rights.
No, I was talking about. Is it? Yeah, probably. I think it falls under the right to bear and keep arms.
Yeah,
does that fall under the Bill of Rights to you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. It was either an amendment, such and such year. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, mate. But I just pulled that out in it purely because I remember listening to a whole group of Supreme High Court judges. And I can give you the link to it afterwards, after the show, if you want. Talking about this precise matter and that maxim of law you give to me, actually. In fact, if you go to my page, right, yeah, and look through the pictures and look for a little baby with a gun, right, yeah, look for a little baby with a gun, and it says, meanwhile, in America, right, yeah, one of those memes, right, yeah, and then underneath that I've got some wicked case law, man, some brilliant fucking case law, constitutional law, that, it's court recording, isn't it? It goes on for about an hour and something like that. It's brilliant, and It gives you a great deep insight to Old English constitutional law and how that particular piece of legislation was accounted for. I will source you to it straight after this show. It's not a problem.
Right, cool. It is a lot to take in, isn't it, for just like just a layman, like, you know what I mean? It is. Do you not think?
Yeah, this is a bit more civilized though. On this one, we can all talk to each other.
Yeah, it is. That's Mark. That's because he's a good host.
Thanks, brother. I mean, thanks, Bob.
But like, you know, I was talking law the other day, innit? I was talking law the other day on Bups, and then halfway through saying it, I'm getting told to prove things there and then that it is a maxim, but it's clearly on your wall now. But like, can you see that?
Yeah, no, I have seen it. Yeah.
But there you go, then, man. It's like I wanted to finish what I was saying, being interrupted when I can prove what I'm saying afterwards is very disrespectful. Right, would you really think I'm going to be saying it if I can't fucking prove it?
Yeah,
I've got a good name on what I do, but yeah, but I've got a good name, man, in this scene when it comes to law. I might not be respected, innit, with some of the people I go for and stuff like that, and I don't want no respect. But when it comes to law, I'm not really doubted by many, right, at all. Right, but that's beside the point. If you're gonna stop me in mid-flow, right, yeah. If you catch me out on something where I can't prove it and all, that's sweet. I learn as well, but like at least let me respond. And I very rarely ever say anything I can't substantially prove with material evidence. Like material evidence, I'm not saying that it's the truth and the true meaning of everything, but what I'm saying is I can prove it with material evidence, which gives it a. I can prove it though with material evidence that gets given a function of power, and I don't need your agreement or anyone else's agreement for that to be a fact. I know it for a fact because I've been out there and done it, witnessed it and felt it.
What's it feel like?
Well, like listen, clarity removes any ambiguity, doesn't it? Clarity removes any ambiguity, yeah?
I've not heard that one, no. I'm not doubting it, I'm just saying I ain't heard it. Is that a maxim, yeah?
I'm on right. It's not. I'm not giving you. Listen, I'm not giving you a maxim. I'm not giving you a maxim or nothing. I'm having a conversation with you. Just clarity, remove any ambiguity.
Yeah.
Well, does it? It removes. Then. So, like, right? If you can be, if whatever you're reading can be interpreted how I'm telling you, then that's how it can be taken. If you're only interpreting it one way without clarity, right, yeah, you are not going to be given merits for it, ever. You need to if you're quoting something for your own benefit, you need to remove ambiguity. That's the point. You say something and it's ambiguous, it can be taken however the individual wants to take it. And you get no choice in that because you provided no clarity. But if you remove any ambiguity and make it clear, precise, by being clear, precise.
And giving them an option to respond if they dispute. Always give someone an option to respond.
Right. I'm in a court of law, and I
give them a third option. Or a 10% discount if you pay early. You know, there's always an option.
Do you want me to give you an example of clarity of announcing yourself as a sovereign without making the claim I am sovereign or I'm sovereign in a courtroom?
What, so like when you're about to get arraigned?
Do you want me to
go right ahead?
Please, mate.
Right. This is. Do you want to right? So if you're in a court of law, right? Yeah, popular, and you say I'm sovereign, right? Yeah, and someone goes prove it. How are you going to prove it? How can you provide clarity?
I'd say
you're going to find it difficult, ain't you?
I'd say I'm very quick. I'd say I'm a very quick man, Your Honour.
All right, I'm your runner, and does that somehow prove you're sovereign?
Yeah, because I'm a living
I'm
thing.
gonna show you now. Right, listen. So there's no clarity. Hang on, let me run. So there's no clarity there. Right, you've just said, innit, to prove that you're sovereign, you're gonna say I'm very quick. So there's no clarity there whatsoever. You must admit that. Now I'm gonna tell you now how to tell the entire courtroom that you're sovereign with clarity, without ever having to make the claim. Right?
Go on,
Do you want to
how'd you
hear
do
it?
it then?
One
Yes.
sentence.
Go on.
When it's your turn to speak, I'm telling you, when it's your turn to speak, right, yeah, and be polite, wait for it's your turn to speak. Don't interrupt people, right, yeah.
Mm.
All you have to say is simply, does anybody here, right, yeah, have any objections to one acknowledging and respecting the sovereignty of this court?
Right, that does
Bang!
it.
If you get no objections, everyone's in agreement. And that's clarity.
Yeah, but I could go in
Because
there
when
and
you're
say,
uttering words in a court of law, it's your court.
yeah, but like you say, if you get no objections...
When the judge is uttering words, listen, when you'll get no objections, don't worry about that. When the judge is uttering words in a court of law and he strikes his hammer down or whatever, or they speak over you and they go, it's my court, it's because they're uttering words. Whoever's uttering words at any given point in a court of law, it's their court. The dock is nothing to be scared of. The dock is a great place to be because you get given voice there. You can speak whenever you want. You know what I mean? Witnesses get removed from the dock if they don't shut the fuck up because they're just being annoying and disrespecting the court. When you're in the dock, right? Yeah, you're in a court of your own, and you have voice. It's the best place to ever be, really. If you're testifying, giving testimony, definitely. You have voice, voicer, word of man, right? Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Sworn in.
But if you're in the courtroom and you're like, you're doing it all for yourself, innit? Right? Yeah. First of all, does anyone have any disputes or does anyone dispute or the facts or does anyone have any objections if one acknowledges and respects the sovereignty of this court? You will get no objections. No one's going to tell you in a court of law you're not sovereign. That's the point. You don't need to say you are. But if you want to assert it with clarity, you get no objections from nobody else. Rather than assert it yourself, you ask in such a way where everyone else is confirming it for themselves and you all at the same time. Without ever having to make the claim. That's how you provide clarity.
Yeah. Because you're asking
Do you get that, Buckler? Do you get the mechanics?
You know the simple way to get clarity.
You're asking if anyone's disputing your sovereignty rather than claiming you are.
Yeah.
I just...
So now you're going to tell me the simple way to get clarity. Go for it.
No, go on. I agree. I would have said the same thing.
Yeah, are there any arguments before the court?
Yeah, I got another one for you. Yeah, if you get asked who you are in a court of law, right? Yeah, try this one, innit? If you want to speak a bit of Latin or learn a bit of Latin, look up pro domino or pro domino.
What's that then?
That'll be the
Go and look up that.
The main dominion, the master.
What you act pro domino ab initio.
Yeah, well done.
Is that right?
Pro dominio, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to do that ab initio.
Yeah, nice. The master, who are you? I'm pro dominio.
Well,
and the judge will know what you said instantly.
Pro meaning for, like proclaiming or pro anything.
If
or
they're
pro
versed,
yeah, pro, and then your dominio, you're talking about your own domain, yourself, your realm. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm
not representing myself, I'm pro dominio.
You know, there's a guy called Mark Simser. Have you heard of?
this is a this is a Latin tongue, innit? But you can speak in courts of law if you learn it. It's for you.
Well, it's a dead language for a court that deals with dead fictions, isn't it? It's a dead language for dead shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, it's obviously like, yeah, it's it right. Right, listen. You don't need to do much study in life, do you? You don't need to do much study or dedication in life to make the claim. I'm a member of the public and I've got these rights. You don't need to study very hard to make that claim. Therefore, you're not going to get very much out of life making those claims. So if you study hard and learn some better shit, right, yeah, and you put in the time and dedication and sacrifice, right, yeah, obviously, when it comes to those scenarios, the better claims you make, the more learned claims you make, right, yeah, the better life's going to be for you, right, yeah, because you've put the work in behind it. You only get out of life what you put into it. Now, and life will represent that. If you don't need to study very hard or do very much in life to make the claim, I'm a member of the public and I've got these rights and you're going to get treated as easily as you had to study to make those claims, which is not very hard whatsoever. But if you've had to study really fucking hard, learning through dead languages and old fucking scripture and old constitutional law are deeply embedded and left there for our ancestors, traditions and customs, you are going to be acknowledged, you're going to be respected, you're going to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah, that's because
right, yeah?
that's absurd,
Because the system's going to know what you know what honour. The system is going to know that you know what honour is. Huh?
That's
absurdo. You what, mate?
Absurdo. That's what they're going to think.
What was that?
That's what they're going to say. That is absurdo.
So you get a response in Latin, innit? You either respond back in English, right? Yeah, or you continue the engagement.
Yeah, but it means it's like absolute.
And I don't think no judge is going to call you. Listen, no judge is going to call you absurd, right? Yeah, or absurd
no. No, you've misinterpreted
for fucking.
You've misinterpreted it. It's absolute. It means absolute, like. Absolute law.
Be simple, absolute, ab absurdio.
I thought you said the judges. I thought you said they're going to say that's absurd.
No, I'm going to say what their law is.
Yeah, you're leading up some
absolute. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you things
that
they might
it's
say.
Just as much mine. It's not their law. It's just as much mine and yours as anyone else's. They study this shit like me. They're just better at it.
The written
you would interpret it. You know.
The written
you remove ambiguity.
Exactly.
Unless you know how to remove
ambiguity.
A word, right?
Yeah.
Learn the art of saying something without saying. You've got to learn the art of saying something without saying something.
Oh, I agree there, mate. I can have a whole conversation
I never
without even saying a word.
I might just put,
you know. Sorry, I was just saying, me and my wife can have a conversation. We've been around for each other for 18 years, mate. We can have an entire conversation in a room full of people without uttering a word to each other. It's the art of being able to speak without speaking.
No, I don't mean like that. I didn't mean like that. I meant like if you're in a court of law, innit? I've just shown you a way of how to assert sovereignty. Yeah, let me finish, man. I've just shown you in a court. Right, I've just shown you in a court of law how to assert sovereignty without ever having to make the claim. That's the art of saying something without saying it.
I just do that on a notice.
I was just giving another example. I was just trying to be ambiguous.
Yeah. But you went on a chi thing, innit? You know, where everyone's just in essence and when everyone's raving at a disco or dancing and all that, that's all talking and language without speaking, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, everyone's
more so unified, busting shapes, man.
It's more so if we're sitting there at a table and we've got visitors that we want to fuck off, but we can have a conversation about a different thing, a completely different topic, in fact, while we're still having a conversation with those people, wanting them to fuck off. You know, we know what each other's thinking. But anyway, I suppose that's just familiarity of the things around you. But yeah, no, that's cool. We're getting an answer just by asking questions, and if you're asking the answer, you are being, pro dominio. You're being the master, because who has the authority? Who has the power to ask the questions?
I mean, it's just a good reply if someone asks who you are.
Mm.
Would you say that?
So who do you believe?
Pro domino. Pro dominio is just a good answer to reply to if someone asks who you are. Who do you think you are? Or who are you? Right, yeah. But you got to try and learn a way. I've just told you how to claim sovereignty without claiming. Now you got to try and work out a way of saying I'm pro dominio without actually claiming it.
But
right, yeah? That's the art of the game, right? Yeah, and fire it back with a question. Like, you got to try and somehow say in Latin, am I not? Do I not look like pro dominio to you in Latin? And if you can respond back in Latin to someone that asks you who you are, they're just going to walk away if they're a court official. Right?
Yeah, but
because they know
alright, say for example,
they're out of their fucking league. If it's in the foyer,
Say you can't afford a suit to go to court.
Yeah, if it's in the foyer.
And am I the bollocks? And it's just going to go, no, get a suit.
It doesn't matter what you're wearing, mate. You're still standing. It doesn't matter if you're standing there butt fucking naked, mate. You're still standing there with equal standing.
Huh?
The Emperor's new clothes, mate.
How the fuck, right? Yeah. How the fuck after everything I've just said? How the fuck after everything I've just? How the fuck after everything I've just said, right? Yeah. How the fuck? How the fuck after everything I've just fucking said can you be on about your fucking clothes and what you look like?
But where did that come from, man?
Just thinking about, like, hey, you know what I mean? If I'm standing there looking like a tramp, he's not going to think I'm the daddy, is he?
Yeah. Again, it's not. It's more how you how you look, mate. So go ahead.
A lot of this law is biblical, isn't it? Right, yeah, and the Bible goes. Hold on a sec. A lot of this law is biblical, right? Yeah, and fucking a lot of the scripture dictates, basically, right? Yeah, Jesus's stories and whatnot, and how to live amongst one another and be a good man, right? Yeah, and when he got executed, right? Yeah, and took out of this realm, right? Yeah, against what nature wanted to teach man a lesson and what we can and can't do amongst one another, right? Yeah. He looked like a tramp too, Boppa, so don't worry about it. Yeah, you know what I mean? If you will be judged upon your individual merits. I'm sure you can make yourself look a little bit presentable if you want, but don't worry about it. If you're a humble man that's done nothing wrong and you're 100% genuine, you haven't got to go and look smart, right? Yeah, for someone else's case or cause. If you're an innocent bystander.
It's just everyone else looks nice and that, though, don't they? When they go cold, I've got to.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with making yourself look a bit presentable.
No,
just because I've got a beard, mate, don't mean I don't look smart.
It does if you've got a beard.
A beard already assumes wisdom.
I'm joking.
You walk up to someone with a beard and ask them a question. Huh?
I'm joking. I'm winding you up. I know a bit, whatever about a beard. I mean.
So like, listen.
And ask him, excuse me, does food get caught in that?
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. No, man. Like I just said, I've given you a way to claim sovereignty without claiming it, and now I've just given you a brilliant title in Latin about how will hold heavy significance, heavy weight, and tell the system that you're a smart individual that's at least studying. But now you need to work out a way, all on your own, because I'm not going to give it to you, of saying that.
I've already got
I've
already got it.
Right, so you know how to say, alright then, so tell me in Latin now that, do I not look like Pro Dominio, the master, to you?
No, I mean, I think I've got a way, you know what I mean? I ain't going to say it though.
Right then, so let me finish then. You got to work out a way to say to someone that goes, who are you? Who do you think you are? Or something like that. You got to work out a way to say, do I not look like the master to you in Latin? And I've given you the pro dominio to get there. and the other words are relatively simple. You can construct them yourself. Just learn a bit of Latin, yeah. Do I not look like the master? You. And respond in Latin with that statement, and that's strength. There's knowledge and wisdom, but everyone is the master of themselves anyway. You are the master of yourself. There's no reason to prove it, or anything. But you're either a weak one or a strong one. And when some of this stuff about being summoned, like everyone's dead and they're summoning the dead. Nah, magic. Obviously, you can summon spirits, and sometimes spirits get summoned that are really powerful and can't be controlled. Now you want to be one of these fucking powerful spirits.
That's what I am.
But don't ever run from confrontation. Don't ever show fear.
What are them spirits?
You might not be yet, but a big sign of strength is admitting. A big sign of strength is admitting you're not that powerful yet, and acknowledge that. Right, and until you've ever got a slap off the system and apologised and thanked the system, like the judicial system, for giving you a slap because you needed it.
That.
Right, yeah, because you got it wrong. Right, yeah, you're not powerful. You ain't ready to do something like that. You're not honourable to do something like that. Exactly.
Fuck the system,
so you're not powerful yet.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, well, all right. Good luck with that then. Good luck. You don't obviously want to learn. You just want to get off with shit that you want to do. You want to do some shit and get away with it. You don't really want to be an honourable man that learns the law, do you?
Yeah, I do. I just don't want it to affect me. I don't. You know.
That's the difference between me and you. You want to study the law to get away with shit. Right? You want to study law to get away with shit, and whereas I'm studying the law. So what you on about? So if the system slaps you about, right? Yeah, the judicial system, you obviously deserve the slap.
No,
and until you learn how to
ridiculous.
thank the judicial system, right? Oh, all right. Well, whatever. Only the strong can forgive. Only the weak can't.
I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm only saying. Look. You know what I mean? Don't. I want. You know what I mean?
You're saying it's ridiculous. If you failed, right, yeah, and the judicial system slaps you about, and you don't learn how to thank the judicial system for teaching you that lesson and study it, right, yeah, and deconstruct it, work out where you go wrong and enhance your knowledge because of that slap, then you're ignorant. You have no respect for your adversaries in life, right, yeah, for the people that you think that you're contesting and whatnot, or the systems that you're contesting. Right, listen. If I used to do martial arts and that, and it bop a lot, right? Yeah, and I wouldn't spar with someone I didn't have respect for. That's the first thing I'm taught: respect everyone that you get in a ring with or fight with, right? Yeah, and never underestimate them. And if I got into a boxing ring or anything like that with no respect for the guy I'm contesting, right? Yeah, then I'd expect to be one popped out of my high techs out of there. Right, yeah, and I don't think right, any heavyweight boxer is getting in a ring without respecting the other fighter, and they've trained and they've done their shit. Right, yeah, and you notice at the end of the fight, even if they've been sparked out, right, yeah, the arms around each other, sometimes the victor even puts the other arm up of the loser. Right, yeah, like they're both winners. Right, yeah, it's all about. There's a lot of honour in that too. Right, yeah, don't be ignorant. If you go up against a judicial system and you get a little slap or a little knockdown, learn from it. You know what I mean? Guide yourself the next time. But you owe the knockdown a thank you. So, teach you how to put your guard up next time. It was a lesson. And until you're strong enough to thank... It wasn't £67 rent arrears. That's how much the weekly rate is. Right, yeah, you misinterpreted like my court video. The judge asked the plaintiffs, you know what I mean? Yeah, how much the weekly rent is. Yeah, the rent. How much is the rent? And it was 60 something odd quid a week. That's not why we was in court. So you're stupid, ain't you? Why don't you want to learn anything? You'd rather pinpoint over a frivolous matter you're even getting wrong. I never went to court over 60 quid rent arrears. Right, yeah. The friend that was with me, who I introduced as amicus curiae, which is friend of the court. You said when Tyrone said yesterday, I got some cash for him. Rah, rah, rah. I don't do stuff for money anyway. But if I wanted to advise him and he wanted to give me a gift afterwards, he's perfectly entitled to. And the thing is, right, yeah, I could go into the courtroom with him as amicus curiae. I don't need to be a fucking Mackenzie friend or anything you said. You're wrong. I could go in there in many roles, in many capacities,
No,
depending on the
what
individual
what
case.
are all the
If it's a private prosecution, it has nothing to do with the rest of the fucking court. Who I am, right? Yeah, I'm an advisor to the fucking plaintiff. But amicus curiae will do.
How many roles are
And
there?
amicus curiae sort of dictates that it's a friend of the court to steer them when they're going wrong. So if I announce myself as amicus curiae and I only spoke alongside my, say Jerome in a court of law, I'd still be allowed to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd still have voice. I could speak out loud on his behalf whenever it was his court. Right, yeah, because I'm amicus curiae. I'm a friend of the court, and if he starts going wrong, I can go, whoop, come here, and I can whisper in his ear, or I can just say it out loud, so he hears me and then repeats me. Right, yeah. You don't need to be registered to perform law. You may have to be registered to practice law, but to go and perform, you don't, to go and just do an act in the street tomorrow and hope someone chucks a few fucking pennies in your hat. You don't really need any permission to do that. You just go and do it. You just go and trade on your skills. You know what I mean? Certain towns, after a while, they send out their policy enforcers and try and move you on, but you essentially consenting to that scenario. But you're in a shitty area of law doing it. But yeah, you're only going to get moved on, but you're trading on your skills, doing a little fucking mime act or something, right? Yeah, and a lot of these mime acts, they bow down eventually and get licenses in it if they're good enough, and they're getting good revenue around London and stuff. But don't think that they got pushed on from town to town to town to town in it until they hit the right ones. But they weren't arrested and persecuted for not having a license to perform. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they weren't arrested or prosecuted and took into law for being a mime act. You know what I mean?
Mark.
Yeah. So, and if it's law, it applies to everything. So you can go into a
Just,
court of law
my
and
YouTube
perform
link at all, please.
on any capacity. Huh?
So, what was
Got a
that?
YouTube link, please, Mark,
For
for this hangout.
Yeah, the YouTube
please.
link to this.
yeah, it's up the top in the chat box there, mate. Right
Oh
down the
shit! I'm a fucking idiot, and I cheers,
Nah,
mate. Sorry,
it's
ignore
not.
me. I'm a fucking.
That's the
stalker.
broadcast link.
Yeah,
That's the
Oh,
broadcast
no
link.
good.
Yeah, that's the.
YouTube. That says YouTube.
That's
obviously.
the invite link. Yeah. But I posted it on Facebook
Yeah,
and I
that's
put
the
it in the
invite.
chat line.
Is that the YouTube link? Yeah.
Yeah, the top one here is the
Alright,
top one
cool,
here
man.
is the YouTube is the invite. The next one down is those YouTube channels and the broadcast link that you wanted better.
Use that one.
You're not even going live. It says please stand by. Oh no, that's
You ain't pushed
me.
broadcast.
No, it is.
Oh yeah.
It is. Better. I think it's called Badda, Boppa, Bing, and it's broadcasting live at the moment.
Oh
Mine
yeah. It just
I'll
Yeah, that's
bring
the
you a
one, dude. So I've just
red
put it
down
up
the
there.
bottom here where it's stop broadcast. So, yeah, it's alright. I haven't stopped it, so it's still running.
study of law can never be licensed on an individual basis. I can sit in a court with, say, anyone, and Jerome or anyone, and I've done it. I'm not just saying it. I've done it. Right? Yeah. I can sit in any court of law with anyone, and practically any matter. Right? Yeah. As amicus curiae, friend of the court, and advise my friend as and when he might be going wrong on any particular at any given point. If he wants to give me a gift or a donation for that afterwards, right? Yeah, that's completely down to them. That's not me giving him a fucking bill, right? Yeah, and whatnot. That's a fucking that's a contribution for my time and skills. But there's no license for that whatsoever, right? Yeah. But if I want to go and register my skills, I get given a license to practice law, and then I can put up a card in a window, solicitor, or go and be what they called they're called something, man.
Amicus
set up an office in
curiae.
an already established solicitor firm, isn't it?
Amicus
Become a
curiae,
tenant in another solicitor's firm.
Amicus curiae, yeah, being
Partner
a
in
friend of
practice
the
or
court,
something.
then. Right, if you're the friend of the court,
Go on.
right, why is it you're helping the defendant or the claimant?
When someone utters words in a courtroom, it's their court. You're constantly in court, and when you're uttering
It's
words
your
in a courtroom, it's your
Okay.
court. So if I'm a
Is
friend
that
of the
'cause
court, I'm only the
as
friend.
king, when you're
Yeah, yeah.
asking questions, you're
Whoever's
as
uttering
king,
words in a court.
child-in-law, and a child-in-law is the highest authority in law, yeah?
When you're asking, yeah, because you're being as king. What's the question there? Sorry, we stopped off
Res
target.
ipsa lequitur. Res ipsa lequitur.
And for the
Thing speaks for
non-Latin
itself.
speaking individuals,
The thing speaks for itself.
okay. Badda,
Yeah, on my page, Teacup, I've got a little. I've got hold on a sec. On my page, Teacup, I've got a little section. I'll put it on this video afterwards or underneath the link or whatnot. I've got a little section where, like my constitutional law books dictate that you're constantly in court all the time.
I
And when
can't
you're in a
read
court
any
of
of your
law,
stuff, mate.
obviously you're there
Unfortunately,
to
you blocked me.
settle a dispute.
I mean,
Yeah,
you'll need to
I've
unblock me,
blocked
Badda,
you.
because you
You can
kind of
still.
blocked me, you know what I mean? You got the up with me earlier and that, you know what I mean? So if you kind of get over that and do water under the bridge over it, dude, I'll go have a look, you know what I mean? Because all the stuff you're telling me tonight, like, you're blowing my mind.
Yeah, whatever. Like, listen, right? Yeah, the on my page, you can still see most work on my page, even though I've blocked you, regardless of whether I've blocked you. My individual account got turned into my page and it and whatnot. All my followers went on there and all that. So, like, all my page work, you can still see. Just because my new account's blocked you in it, because I've had to go legit, doesn't mean you can't see
Dude,
my
I
work
don't
on
know
my
any
page. So
of
if you
your
let me
pages
finish,
or
you can
anything.
still see it if you want. There's a little section on there. Yeah, but anyway, on my page, there's a little section. Right, yeah, my
Yeah, that's
Anonymous is
what I'm
in the United
saying.
Kingdom
You have
page,
to
not
give
my
me a
group.
link to
There's a
your
little
page because
section.
I don't even know what your page is. You know what I'm saying? So, what page is this? Oh, is that one you keep posting up with your 9,000 members, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's my group.
Oh, right. I didn't know you had a. Oh, right. Okay. You'll have to give me a link to that, Badda.
Just
Yeah,
drop
well,
it in
I'll
the chat.
explain. Let me tell you what's on there first. That explains what I'm saying. Right, yeah, on that, I've got an explanation that tells you in it that you're constantly in court all the time, regardless of where you are, whether it be a court building or not. And when when a relationship or a dispute between two or more courts goes to a court of law to focus upon the details, really, right? And because of that, when you're speaking in a court of law, like anyone else, when the judge is speaking, it's the judge's court. When you're speaking, it's your court, and vice and all, and so forth and so forth. Uh, uh, so therefore, when I'm amicus curiae in it, as a friend of the court, I'm only the friend of whoever's speaking at any given point. And that's it. That's my role, that's my capacity. And if I'm sat next to either the defendant or claimant, I'm obviously their friend.
Mate, just so I've got this right. So let's say the judge asks you when he says put in your plea, yeah, and then obviously you're going to speak. If you then just turn around and say my plea's case dismissed, because obviously as you're talking, then it's your court, isn't it? So why not just say my plea's case dismissed and walk out?
Because you're pleading, you're begging.
No,
You're
because you're there to settle a dispute.
Oh, so the judge is
I'm going to explain to you why you can't say that. Why are you asking me a question?
Okay,
I'm going to tell you why you can't say that.
Okay,
Makes no sense.
Go on then.
I don't get it, man. You do this all the time. Badda, why is this? Why is that? And then when I told to tell you, you don't listen.
Badda, you've got to be expected for people to ask you questions.
The reason why that makes no sense.
I mean, how can you learn from the master?
Yeah, but he asked me. I went to answer, and then he started speaking over me.
But let somebody finish. That's all you've got to do, Badda, man.
But you asked.
Let people answer. Let people talk. You know what I mean?
He had finished. I started speaking, you dickhead.
Yeah, but listen, what I'm saying is,
I don't need any advice from you, man. How about just shut up a sec, right? Yeah. Right. This is why it makes no sense. Right, mate. This is why it makes no sense. Right, yeah, you can't just say I'll dismiss the case because you're there to settle a dispute. There's more than one court there, not just you. But when you're speaking, it's your court. It makes no sense to dismiss the case. There's three other courts there. There's the judge and you know many other court officials and the claimant, and that is an absurdity. In the
What
English,
if you
the
got a
common law
case
of
that's
all
got a
England and the
joinder
English law
going
does
on?
not suffer from an absurdity.
So what if you've got a case where
Right,
a
there's a
joinder's
maxim of
going
law
on and you've
dictates
got
that the English law
multiple...
doesn't
Hang on, I ain't
suffer from an
finished. And
absurdity.
you've got multiple litigants, right, tied together in one case. Does that mean you've got, like, maybe, I don't know, 10 different courts going on in a single court of law?
Yes.
Everyone's in court, yeah,
I was
of
asking
course.
Badda, because Badda's the master.
They might be taken into consideration. They might be taken
So
into
are they
consideration.
not
TIC and
are
stuff
they
like
not
that.
amicus curiae? As an amicus curiae, are you a court or
Right,
are
they
you a
don't make
friend
the
of the
claim.
court?
That'd be the
Huh?
amicus curiae is
Badda,
not
sorry,
one.
Badda, mate, can you, as an amicus curiae, are you a friend of the
In that
court?
capacity, I'm a friend of the court.
Right, and as a friend of the court, does that mean you're not a court?
I'm a friend of the court in that capacity.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not a court. Then by default, being a
So it
friend of
means
the
I can.
court and not a
I'm
court.
given equal voice. I'm trying to explain
So,
to you.
okay, go on, explain.
Listen, I'm trying to explain to you. Why won't you even let me answer? You're just trying to be witty and sarcastic when you don't know nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's just silly. Right, yeah. When someone's speaking, it's their court. And if I'm a friend of the court, right, yeah, it means I can interrupt him or put him to one side or pause him a second, right, yeah, and it will be given merit, right, yeah, because it's in the same. I'm in the same capacity. Imagine when, right, he's speaking, for instance. Let's say me and Jerome are in a court of law now, and Jerome's turn to speak, right, yeah, and he starts going wrong. I can put him to one side or start speaking out loud. Go, hold on a minute. Right, yeah, and my voice will be given merit. I'm in his bubble, right,
So
yeah.
you have
I
a
am
right
in
of
his
audience
bubble,
then.
right, yeah. And that's been firmly established before we sat down and did business. That's been firmly established and acknowledged by everyone in there, right? But if I was just anyone else in the courtroom and started speaking, or the other courts, right? Yeah, especially the judge that's there to administer the facts can get me removed out, get me tossed out, do this, do that. I'm
Badda,
being held in contempt,
Badda,
right? Yeah.
can
So
I just ask you something quickly, please?
I'm showing contempt. Yeah, I'm not part of the bubble that's
Please.
speaking. Right, yeah, I'm not part of the court that's speaking, and I'm interrupting the court that's speaking. Whereas if I've been acknowledged as a friend of the court and there's been
Jesus.
no fucking dispute and no one's contested it, and we've all sat down to do business, I can interrupt whoever's speaking.
Oh,
Right,
you're allowed to
yeah, if I'm
interrupt.
there
That's
with
right for you
them,
then,
right,
isn't it,
yeah,
for
and put them
fuck's
to
sake?
one side, and there will be no objections.
Of course
And there will
not.
be no
You wouldn't even get in
objections.
a fucking court. They'd object to you before you even got in there.
I've already done it. I've already done it. I've
Right,
already
this
been
is
there
the
and done it.
question.
I'll do
Right?
this.
You
This is
make
what I'll
it
do. I've
sound,
done
hang
it.
on, you make it sound like as if you were in court, right, that you'd somehow control this court, right? So when you come along for Badda's Bopalot's trial, right, are you going to be able to control the court and help him out?
I'm not going to Bapalot's court, and I never said that. You're making it up.
So you can't help. You couldn't help if you couldn't help if you were. I mean, it was, let's say Bopalot could give
I
you a
never said I
gift
can control.
afterwards.
I
For
never said I
instance.
control any court.
I thought you said when you were speaking, you're the one in. Yeah, it was your court.
Bapalot's fucked, mate.
Oh, Bopalot's fucked. Okay,
Yeah,
I
it
see.
is.
So even if he
Yeah,
tries to give you a special gift
Bapalot's fucked it,
afterwards,
mate.
like, you know what I mean?
There's nothing you can do.
Oh, Bopalot's fucked.
It doesn't matter. He's fucked. Like the best advice, he can give me the gift now. I'm telling him he's fucked if he doesn't take that advice and
Would you like him
walk
to
in
give you a
there and
gift
say,
now?
"Listen, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Put my hands up. I didn't mean to cause all this shit." Right,
Would
yeah.
you
If
like
he
him
wants,
to,
this
would
is
you
my
like him to
advice
give
to
you?
Bapalot. Right, yeah. Bapalot, walk into court, say you're sorry, basically, yeah. So say you're sorry for bringing so many honourable people into dispute,
What, like the judge and the
and
CPS,
disrespecting
they're the
them and,
honourable
and
ones, yeah?
being dishonourable,
And the
and you've
police,
learnt the
they're the
error of
honourable
your
ones, yeah?
fucking ways,
Come
and you've learnt the error of your ways, yeah. You've learnt
on,
the error of
brother.
your ways,
Play the game.
right? Yo, commonly known as kick teacup out just for one night, innit? Let's just see how me, you, and Boppa like get on our own without this little mug.
Hey, Baddo, unban me, mate. Come on, I am missing all my trolls. NPD trolls.
Teacup, just let Badda finish, mate. Please.
He can, mate. I've let him finish for the past 2
Nah,
hours.
man.
I'm waiting for him to fucking
You
finish.
just gotta go and
He fucking drags it out so
you just gotta go
fucking
and
long,
spoil
bro.
everyone's hangout, ain't you? You're jealous, man. You're hurting. You're proper in
Oh,
pain.
yeah, jealous. Oh, yeah, jealous.
You're making a real fucking spectacle of yourself online, you are, Teacup, man.
I know. What can I do, mate? You know what I mean? So, as let me get this right, yeah? When you go into court, you're a child in law, yeah? Is that correct?
Into somebody
You
else's
listen to the
court.
other show?
No, badder. When you go into court, yeah, in law, you're a child. Is that correct?
Haven't you listened to the other shows?
So is that correct? That's a simple question. Is that correct or not?
Go and research it for yourself.
Is that correct? When
got no
you
more
go into
time.
court,
Teacup, I've
when
got no
you
more
go, when
time for
you,
you.
a 35-year-old man, go into court, right, in the eyes of the law, are you seen as a child?
In other words, is every person seen as as a child in the eyes of the law? Is that what you're asking,
Badder,
Teacup?
don't go. I ain't even started to troll you yet.
I've permanently blocked him. I can't hear him.
Blocked me.
Right, so
Oh, what a fucking
you're commonly
retard.
known as Dave or whatever your name is, Mark. If you wanna fire a question at me, fire it at me. But I've put this guy on ignore. I can't hear a single word he's saying now.
Oh, okay.
Ah, nice
Oh.
and fresh.
I get to hear both of you at this end.
Yeah,
Woo!
you get to hear him, but I can't hear
get to
him.
be a mediator.
That's good enough for me.
I mean,
The guy,
so basically, Teacup is saying, is every person a child in the eyes of the law?
we've already covered that last night. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, it's my understanding that anybody who wants to stand there representing as something else as a person, then they're being a child in the eyes of the law because they're bowing to a parental authority. They're not being the authority, so therefore if they're not being the authority in that setting, they're being the subject or the child.
I mean, like, you know,
That-
I'm also saying everyone in law is, you know, free to go and pick twigs off trees.
Sure.
But like, you know, it's not definitive.
I'm more
You
against
get me? So, you know, when I come on here, innit, I started this hangout, and clearly on those merits where people like Teacup in it are wanting the blatantly obvious, proven and written in law because that, you know, he's. You know, he only cares about what's written. He doesn't. He's trying to confuse two different aspects of law together. If it isn't written in his fucking 2014 book, it doesn't exist.
Do you mean like mixing realms?
Yeah, he's merging. He's confusing himself and tripping over his own logic, and he's
Like-
that's all
like-
about it because I've pointed it out.
If legal and legalese and courtroom and acts and statutory were basketball, Teacup would be very bloody good basketball player. And if you know, just knowing how to be the pro dominio in the master, then I'm sure you know you're specialised in that sort of things. But it's the clash of it's like two tidal currents clashing in the middle with you two. if you can liken my description.
Yeah,
Because you're both very proficient.
sure, but you know, Teacup rung the police. Over.
Mm. Sorry, carry on.
I don't know. I've seen Teacup's work in it. He phoned the police over a football. He phoned the police over a football and tried to get his neighbour arrested. And he was shaking. You know what I mean? Yeah. For him, you know, you know, at the end of the video, you can see he's shaking. Shock him up.
From my point of view, I mean, I've
You know,
known
he's looking for a fight. He's looking
2
for an
weeks
inkling.
the whole time I've started this. So, you know, I'm from very much an outsider's perspective, and I've studied, learned quite a lot through my mistakes in life, as every man does. But I mean, I can see how Teacup and where he's thinking from, but yeah, I can see that it's like from a fly on the fucking wall's perspective. I can see everybody's points, and you're all.
I don't think you can see mine.
Pardon?
I don't think you can see mine.
Well, I get Teacup's point of view because I mean
My
you're
point-
just
my
point
is quite
within the
simple.
law
I'll
and find.
spell it out.
Pardon?
My point's quite simple, and I'll spell it out as unblocked, right? Badda's a fucking idiot.
never said
He doesn't
anything.
know fuck all about the law, okay? That's quite simply my point. And all I've done for the past 3 nights is basically show how little he knows about the law. So, you know what I mean? That's just... You're dealing with a narcissistic personality disorder. You know what I mean? This is you. You're going to be banging your head for a long time.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
you were on the other shows, innit? The other hangouts. You were on the other hangouts, innit?
I was on the last couple, but I've got a busy life here with my wife and 3 kids, so I sort of
Yeah,
do
right.
like
And you heard this, right? You must have heard this. Right, listen, you heard this Teacup interrupting me every time I started going on, like, you know, mid-flow and trying to explain something. Where's this said? Where's this said? Where's it said there? Where's it said there? And today, in the last few days, I've been putting it all up on Boppa fucking wall. You know what I mean? Like one acknowledgement of like, yeah, safe, respect, nice one. Thanks for showing me where that is. Nothing. He just wants to pick another fight. You know what I mean? He's an angry little fellow. You know, and he's out there like, you know, fucking people up. You know what I mean? You know, and he's fucking Boppa up as well. Really, Boppa's got a serious case where he could do some fucking time. Everything that fucking Teacup's teaching him or telling him, right? Yeah, is only gonna then end him up in further hot water. The best thing Boppa can do, in all honesty, is walk into court and apologise for being such a fucking cunt. You know what I mean? And he only did it because he was learning. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and he wants to learn how to be more honourable. And he will get a slap, but then he needs to learn how to learn from that slap.
Any man will be forgiven so long as he admits he's done wrong, or admit he's not so much doing wrong, but learning and just trying to learn. You know, I'm not going to tell my kid off for breaking something if they're just trying to learn how to do something and accidentally cross the line in some fashion. They're just kids. They're just learning. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And in some ways, I suppose it's kind of what you're meaning, isn't it? That's what the courts would look at it.
You don't tell a listen. You don't beat a fucking kid up, do you, for getting a word wrong in a book? You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't punish them severely, right? Yeah. So if Boppa goes in there down that route, like, listen, I got words wrong in a book, I fucked up, I thought something meant it didn't, and I lost momentarily control of my emotions, and I'm sorry if I brought anyone's character into disrepute, or disrespect, or into dishonour. And I'm more than fully, now willing to stand for my actions and errors and learn from them. I guarantee you, whatever he will get the third chopped off of it, no matter what. Say if he got 9 months, he'll do 6. He'll get 6 and come out in 3 or 2. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if he goes in there looking for a fight, right? Yeah. He ain't gonna get nowhere near chopped off what he could have got chopped off if he went in like I've just told him to.
Badda, man. That was funny, you can't.
You feel it though, don't you?
I don't, man.
But you feel it though, don't you, mate?
Badda.
Or if you don't, alright, then go and get burnt.
Alright.
Go for the intellectual fight. I know you can't win. Go and get burnt.
Alright, sweet.
Well, sometimes you need to know, right?
What all you're saying?
Sometimes you got to throw in the towel.
Sometimes
you got to throw in the towel, man.
Throw in the towel? What are you talking about? How would I throw in the towel then? Tell me how I shall throw in the towel. Define throwing in the towel.
Just go in there and apologise and Right, throwing in the towel and fighting another day. Get ready for round 2 whenever, isn't it? But like
Yeah, but
arm yourself with where you went wrong this time.
yeah,
Throw in the towel now because you're only going to make things. With what you've done already,
What do you mean? What I've
I'm
done, all I've
explaining
done
it
is
to you.
thrown
With
some
what you've done
parts.
already, right? Yeah. If you throw in the towel now,
You're talking like
no,
a
it's
fucking
the way
done
you've
a
acted in
terrorist
the
act
police
or
station
something.
and the letters that you've written, stuff like that.
So what? It's all irrelevant.
What you on about? It's the way you've gone into court and acted.
So?
All right,
I'm gonna
sweet.
do it again.
What I'm saying is the way you've gone into court and you've acted in it.
Yeah,
All right,
that's what
you're saying so. You're saying so. All these people you've mucked along the way, right? Yeah, reflected. It's going to be reflected if you get found guilty. Simple. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
know,
what
yeah,
I'm
but at
saying
least
is
it's all
now, if
documented
you
for people
if
to
you
see
phone the
not
town
what
now
to
and say,
do.
listen, I lost control of my. All right, you don't keep interrupting me then. You're
Who
not really
does?
after any advice. You just want to learn how to get off with shit.
Better, I'm just saying, man. You're going on
You
like a
do.
fuck.
I only grow a few plants. You don't even know what the commercial. What's the commercial level?
Fuck
What's the
knows.
commercial level, rude boy?
Fuck knows.
Exactly. You grew over the commercial, mate. You grew over the commercial level.
Fuck the commercial
The
level.
argument, I'm only growing a few plants, holds no water.
Look, I was only growing a few plants.
You grew over the commercial level. It's not like you're a family. It's not like you're a family household that's got
Who
one or two
defines the
plants
commercial
that you
level?
smoke with your
You bobble
DVD.
on. No, I haven't
every
listened
week.
to that, Tulsa.
All right. Obviously, you know more about law than me. Good luck to you.
Sweet.
I'll just
Now
sit
let's
back
talk
and
about
watch you get
something
burned.
All right, you sound like you get pleasure out of that, though. You know what I mean? All you're saying is, better. Look, yeah, you're gonna learn from your mistakes.
Sounds like
But-
it's pleasure.
but
I get pleasure out of it
way
because I'm
the
here
way-
now trying to assist you.
Actually, you've already told me you can't assist me. You've already said I'm fucked. So why are we even talking about my case?
I have just assisted you. You're just too blind to see it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, well, yeah, but I'm not going to apologise for something when I've never done something wrong. You know what I mean? Why would I do that? Why would I go in there and just fucking say, "Oh,
Yeah,
sorry"?
All right then.
I'd rather not. You know what I mean? I'd rather take.
Because you admitted they were cannabis. You admitted they were cannabis.
For fuck's sakes. So
You
what?
admitted they were cannabis, mate.
So what? It was my property. It's my property. It's all mine.
All right then, whatever. Good luck, dickhead.
All right then, you silly cunt.
You just haven't got a fucking
Calling
clue.
you now, is he bobble up?
Yeah, I'm probably getting it now.
Proceeds of crime to you yet, Bapala?
Tell him to unblock me.
Have they
Tell him
mentioned
to unblock
proceeds
me.
of crime to you yet? No.
Mark, tell him to unblock him, mate, because fucking hell.
Hang on.
Come on, but Badda,
It'll
just
hurt.
listen to what Teacup's saying as well. I've got to go piss anyway.
There's no point, man. You know what I mean? The guy's just an idiot.
So we're just going to agree to disagree then on this one, then, are we?
I can't hear anything Teacup's saying. I can't hear anything.
I'll extend my olive watch to Badder
He
again.
doesn't want to study and learn any law.
Go
he
on,
just
Badder,
wants to
unblock
pick a
me.
fight with me,
Unblock
but
me
he's
from
already
Facebook
lost.
as well.
The
It's only a little
guy's
bit of trolls
breaking
laughs,
down
you know what I
online.
mean?
I'll just leave him
We're all
Yeah,
fucking adults here. Surely we ain't all children in law, are we?
That flimsy little guy that rings the police on his
What's that? You
neighbour
go to
over
court and he goes,
Yo,
yes,
Buffalo,
you're a child in law, you got a mental age, you're a
you was
fucking
his neighbour.
10-year-old.
He'd ring the police on you over a football with all your crops upstairs.
He can't hear what you're saying, Benner. Or I don't know if you can hear
No,
what
he
he's.
can't. He might be able to hear if he's listening on YouTube, but
Please
I don't
come
really
round
give
for a
fucking
football at
shit.
Buffalo, that's right, yeah, because fucking Teacup lives next door to him and grasses him up for
Tell him
it.
to unblock me
And
back.
smell his
Mark.
crops upstairs.
Say to him I'll play nicely. Say to him I'll go back on move.
Yo,
He's agreeing to go on
Yo,
and play
Buffalo.
nicely if you unblock.
Buffalo, how come you chill? How come you chill with a grass? That rings the police on people over a
I bet he's
football. What if
nasty
his
to the
neighbour had a
process.
crop
Oh,
on upstairs,
yeah,
man?
oh.
How can you chill with a grass like Teacup? Answer me that. Maybe the next door neighbour did have a... Yo, don't you want to answer me? Bapala.
Come on, Badder. Oh, you're man enough.
What? Perhaps his next door neighbour did have a crop on upstairs, that's why he
It'll
grassed
hurt.
him up. for a football to see if the police would smell
You're
it.
emotionally destroyed. It's like
You're a
there's
buffalo.
no love and peace in the world anymore. I just want to say namaste to you and give you a little big hug.
What if your
Tickle
neighbour,
in the
right, yeah,
balls.
made up that you stole his football, right, yeah, and rung the police on you?
Mark, watch out because he'll read your
What
body
would you do?
expression.
Sorry, what was that? Teacup? What?
I said,
I've got both of you cutting in here, so.
I'll be quiet.
You're buffalo. Buffalo.
Sorry. Go ahead. Bop a lot. Butter's
Yeah.
trying to get to you.
Buffalo, why won't you answer? How can you chill with a grass like Teacup that rung the police over a fucking football on his neighbour that might have been growing crops? Everyone's at it these days, ain't they? Everyone's got a cheeky little grow on or something these days, isn't it? Just to make ends meet and that. Nothing too dramatic. And then you got people like Teacup ringing the feds on them over a football. How can you chill with people like that, Teacup? I mean, how can you chill with people like that, Bapalat? I'm calling Bapalat Teacup now. Shit. I mean, are you both? Would you ring the police on someone over a football, Bapalat? That's a better question.
I don't quite get what the football's in relation to. Did the football cause damage? Was it on property? Was someone writing shit on the football that said nasty things? I don't get what a football has to do
No,
with.
these were going on about narcs. I was
Huh?
on about I was on about
Bad
sending a
knows very
video
little
that
about Teacup.
represents someone's innocence, right? Yeah, to help out in his case to the local judicial system of the area he comes from, because I think they need to hear his story. And they were going on like I was some grass. I was like, well, hang on, I'm only sharing public material with the public. You know, anyone can access it anyway. You know, how can I be a grass about something where anyone can access it anyway? But
I
online, for a fact, 100% Teacup rung the police and grassed on his neighbour over a football. How does Bapalat justify that? How does Bapalat chill with someone that grasses his neighbour up over a football? Rung the feds 999 because his neighbour nicked his football.
Oh, so if the football was Teacups and it was stolen by the neighbour. Is that or the allegation or whatever it was? Is that the story behind it?
So
Is
he
that
grassed him up.
No, I'm just trying to figure out, because all I've heard is
So he
football.
grassed up his neighbour.
I'm not justifying anybody's actions. I'm just trying to figure out what happened to do with the football. All I've heard is...
For the love of God, Mark, do not stick up for
I'm
me.
just trying to ask Bapalat.
Sorry, what?
It's just funny how Bapalat
You
goes
don't want to
quiet,
stick up
innit?
for me with Baddy,
You know
because
what I
they'll
mean?
like make out like you're somehow siding with me or what.
I'm
they're
asking
taking the boats
Bapalat
from
why
me
he
or
chills
something.
with someone that rung the police over a football on his neighbour.
I don't know. Are you still with us, Bob, or are you gone somewhere else? You might not be there, Bella.
He's trying to pick himself up the floor.
Oh, is he? Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's rolling away laughing so much.
How long you been on live? How long you been live
He's
for
a
now?
right little instigator, old Bob a lot. He loves it.
Let's find out. Just a moment. I'll go to my YouTube channel and see what it has to say. Just give me a moment there, Bella.
Is Badder not going to unblock me then, Mark?
Better, are you going to unblock
I can't wait
Teacup
for this to
and
go.
try and get along?
Tell him I play nice, really nice. I promise.
He says
I'll
he'll
give him
play
one last
really
chance.
nice. He's one last chance,
I'll give him
Teacup.
one last chance.
Yeah, I'll take it.
He'll take that.
I don't know how to unblock him.
See now?
I don't know how to
You click on
How
it.
do I unblock him?
On the down arrow. On the down arrow, just click on ignore again, and it should unignore, would be my guess.
No, it's blocked. I've
there's
only
no
got his
option.
profile selection, and it won't let me see his profile either.
That's lucky.
Uh,
There's no option to unblock him.
it asked
It just
me
says
if I
profile.
wanted to unblock. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, click on
I don't-
profile and see if it'll... See if it gives you the option to unblock it, or does it just take you to a web page?
No, I might have to leave and come back again.
Oh, well, this is still running, so you can do. It's up to you. Up to yourself better if you wish.
How long's it
gonna
been
unblock me
running
then?
for?
I'm just about to find that one out, mate. Just give me a moment.
Okay. I'll be quiet. I'll go back on mute now.
Yeah. Well, Teacup better seems to be that he can't unmute you, so he might have to log out and log back in again. But we'll just
Yeah. But if he logs out and he doesn't unblock me, I don't think he'll be able to rejoin.
Yeah. He didn't block you though. He ignored you. There's a difference between muting, ignore. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I ignored him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gives you the option to permanently block. You see a little tick, click on ignore, and you see a little tick box. Permanently block, commonly known as Mark of the House of Keen on Google. And I bet you he's clicked that. Because he doesn't. You know, Bob, he's just playing hard to get, but I'll get him.
I can hear you laughing, fat cunt. Yo, what do you think of how do you justify chilling with Teacup at grass on his neighbour over a football?
I think it's been going for roughly about roughly 2.5 hours.
He's not trying to close it down. Is he? Oh, come on, badda. I want to listen to your voice before I go to bed.
If he's still on ignore, then tough shit.
Sure.
I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
One sec.
Teacup, he's just dropped out and he's going to log back in and see if you're ignored still or not.
I doubt he'll be able to get back in unless he unblocks me.
Oh, well, it'll be his fault. We'll see.
We will.
We will learn from these things.
Yeah, that's what Boppa needs to do. I think what he needs to do is go into the courtroom basically and say to the judge, I've been a right fucking cunt. I need to learn from my mistakes, and I need you to fucking show me being an honourable man and all, and being in honourable company with the CPS and the police and that. And you need to show me and correct my ways and come down on me like a ton of bricks and treat me nice and harsh so I can learn from that. That's what I think he needs to do.
Bend over.
Help me out here. Show me where I've done wrong. Point me where my wrongs are. Show me how to repent.
Yeah, well, not necessarily show him how to repent.
You know what I mean. No, I tend to use colourful words.
Does that sound like a good idea, Bob?
Yeah, you do that on your own thing, though. You can do that if you want. I've got a different plan.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I thought that was... Oh, but that's the law voice, isn't it?
No, I'm not. I'm going against the law. I'm not doing it the lawful way. I'm gonna invent my own way, like badda.
As king. Badda.
As king, yeah.
As king. Cool. I'm gonna move when I hear badda.
Yeah, rather than unblocking my other account, you get your last chance in this account.
Cool, dude. I mean, I'm really grateful at all, badda. I mean, I want to offend you, so I'm gonna go on mute, dude.
Just learn a bit of etiquette, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, dude. You know what I mean?
Right. Floor is yours better. What were we talking about?
I was just asking Boppa like why he chills with someone that grass his neighbour up to the police over a fucking football.
Because that's just a fucking. There's nothing to do with weed, is it? What's that got to do with weed?
Did you choose me?
How did he know? How did he know his neighbour never had a little crop on upstairs?
Well, fucking. That's just. Yeah, whatever, man. That's just nothing. I'm asking. You know what I mean? He's telling me things about it. I'm just taking in what everyone's saying. You know what I mean?
So do you think it's cool? All right, Boppa, I'll put it a better way. Do you think it's cool to ring the police on your neighbour over a football?
No, not if that's all it is. But obviously, he's not. You know what I mean? There's obviously more to it than that, isn't there? You know what I mean? It's not. It's
grass and
nothing.
Matthews. He's made
I mean, it's
more
just
loads of
fucking
complaints.
ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous thing. It's just stupid.
Okay then. Okay, it's a ridiculous thing. Like yesterday, innit? When you quit online, when you turned it off there, the broadcast, innit? I was saying, listen, I'll send that link in it to you know, the constabulary and judiciary, so they can hear, you know, Toby's side of things. So, you know, I think they need to hear it to help the case out. You all called me narcs and grasses, remember?
Yeah.
No, only I did.
Behaviour.
Only I did, mate.
Only you did, but Buffalo's just said, like, yeah, he's just admitted to it as well.
Yeah, I did.
Right then, alright, and I haven't done that. It was only a wind-up anyway. It's public material. It's out in the public domain. I don't need to send it to anyone. Anyone can go and view it whenever they want. You can't threaten to send out public material.
Oh, fucking hell.
But like...
It's the point of bringing it up, isn't it?
Yeah, alright, so this is what I mean. You're going to let me finish, or what? The point I'm making is, you chill with someone that blatantly has wronged the police on his neighbour over a football, and you know for a fact he's done it, as I do, on more than one occasion, not just about footballs. And yet, you know what I mean, I suggest about sharing public material, and somehow that made me a narc and a grass. But you chill with someone that blatantly records themselves ringing the police 999 in on his neighbour over a football.
Yeah,
right, you're in a position to be calling anyone grass, mate.
Yeah, whatever, man. It's great. Just get out.
It is ridiculous.
Okay, you know
I'm just saying, innit? Don't go on those levels with me, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're sat with someone and chill with someone and troll with someone, innit? Teacup that is a prat. You know, you're gonna drag yourself down with him.
You don't need to, love badder, because your advice is to go in there and apologise. What makes you think your advice is any different to mine? I just told my advice live on air. What I think he should do, right, is he should go into the court. He should tell the judge basically he's been a fucking absolute cunt. He's a fucking idiot, right? He needs to learn from his mistakes. The only honourable people in that court are the judge, the CPS and the police, right? And they need to fucking teach him his error of his ways. He needs a hard lesson to learn, and they're the people to do it. That's what I think he should do. What do you reckon?
Close. No, he did it to himself. No one else did it to him. He did it to himself. So yeah,
it's only the law, isn't it? I mean, what does he expect? You know what I mean? Growing 48 plants, breaking a fucking unjust law, and then fucking not expecting a bit of injustice about it. You know what I mean?
Tough shit, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's his fucking fault, isn't
it? It's a statute.
Hey, what do you reckon the chances of him arguing that he's like really stupid and mentally ill? That's a defence in law, isn't it?
No, do you not? Do you agree that statutes and acts? Do you agree to stand under statutes and acts?
Do I agree to stand under them?
Yeah, I mean, do you acknowledge and accept statutes and acts of Parliament?
Yeah,
I acknowledge and accept.
Yeah, I acknowledge and accept that they exist. Yeah, of course I do.
But you, well, do you think that they apply to you?
Hey, of course they apply to me.
Oh, that's all right.
Why wouldn't they apply to me? I'm not above the law.
So what you think is unjust is neither here or there, isn't it?
Well, that depends, you see, because in law, right, an unjust law is no law at all. That's actually a Latin maxim.
Yeah, but who are you to decide what's just and isn't?
Well, that's not for me to decide. That's why we have judges. You see, I go to a judge and I sort of like argue my side of an argument, and then the other side argue their side of the argument, and then the judge is the one that actually decides whose side of the argument's going to win.
Yeah, but obviously the misuse of drug act has been justified.
What, in your opinion?
You're not capable of undoing that justification before it hits the courtroom.
Is that your opinion, or is that a fact, or case law to this? Or
I know that for a fact. You ain't capable. You ain't capable, right? Yeah, of making Parliament, right? Yeah. Repealing the Misuse of Drugs Act before Buffalo hits court. You're not capable of doing that. So you go into court and say it's an unjust. You go into a court de facto.
Please.
Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me?
No, you're interrupting me. I've never made the claim that Parliament will repeal the Misuse of Drugs Act. You made that. Back to ignore. Go for it.
I haven't finished
You're a fucking child.
speaking, man.
Honestly, I can see why you.
I haven't finished speaking. I'm
I
going to
can
mute
see
you.
why you're a child-in-law.
Wow, you both muted each other.
Why beg for me to unfucking? Why beg for me to like take you off ignore? If you just
Dude,
Man,
answer the
it's just
question.
to hold a conversation.
I'm
man.
answering. Let me answer. Let me answer the question? Let me answer the question, man. Right.
Can I just say that can I just
answer
interrupt
the
you?
question?
Mark,
Can I
let him
just answer the question?
In a moment, Butter. In a moment, please. Just
I'm gonna
all I
forget.
can
I'm gonna
say.
forget how to answer. I'm gonna forget how to answer. Can I just answer the question?
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm just.
Right.
I would like
Okay,
to be a
right.
break between talking. That's all. If we could just have a pause between each person speaking, there's not going to be over talking.
Exactly. Right. The misuse of Drug Act has already been justified and passed through Parliament, right? Yeah, and the judicial system, right? Yeah, and there's no way of repealing that before it gets to a court de facto administrative hearing, right? Yeah, and by the time it gets to that hearing, the facts on the table will be interpreted by the law, the judge, right? Yeah, the judge will interpret the law once the facts are on the table, and if you can't make that repeal happen by the time you get to court, then your lawful argument about an unjust law is neither here or there. It's not even if you're right, it doesn't matter. You can't produce the facts.
What's that maxim? Because you know you're good with your maxim. What's that maxim where basically making a point that's completely irrelevant is of no use at all? What was that?
It's on Boppa's wall now.
Yeah, but can't you recite that for me, please?
One sec.
Consider it a lesson in Latin.
He's just looking it up, Tico.
Yeah, ready? Quod constat.
Yeah.
Quod constat clare non deper verificare. What is clearly apparent need not be proved. Yeah, and quod constat curae opera testum non indiget. That which appears to the court needs not the aid of witnesses.
So when I turned around and said like that I'm not making the claim that Misuse of Drugs Act will be repealed at all, right? Why did you feel the need to make an absolute pointless point?
Because you think lawful argument in a court de facto will be given any substance, even if you're right, even if it is unjust, right? Yeah, it's not a legal precedent yet, and your legal or lawful, well constructed, well articulated argument on the reasons why it is unjust is not going to be given any merit or have any standing. The facts will be put onto the table, and the facts are he's already consented and admitted that it's cannabis. That is a controlled substance. That is in the definition of what has been studied and used and been passed by Parliament and the judicial system. And that will not be repealed by the time Boppa gets to court. So his only option now, because of his own mouth, is to go, yo, fair cop. You know what I mean? I best learn from my mistakes. And next time he gets caught, learns how not to define it as cannabis, because cannabis is legally defined within that Misuse of Drugs Act, and he's already established the definition
He's done that
and
obviously in his
clarification.
interview and that, didn't he? In his interview, he obviously makes all that
And
clear.
that's it.
Here's one for you, Badda. Rather than
And that's why he's
repealing,
fucked. That's why he's fucked.
Badda. Rather than repealing the Misuse of Drugs Act, what about if we peel it?
An appeal based on a motion has no standing.
No, not appeal it, not a peel, right? What if we actually peel it? Like peel an orange.
I mean, if you just want frivolous engagement, I'm not interested. I'm giving you the reason why he's fucked it.
Do you understand what I mean when I say peel it?
I'm giving you the reason why, in law, he's fucked it, and there's no going back now. His best option is to go
let me just have one quick one. 5 second sentence. Right? What if the peel is referring to more like an onion layer and peeling down the Misuse of Drugs Act like an onion?
Yeah, look, he might he can go and pick a fight if he wants, right? Yeah, and start deconstructing the Misuse of Drugs Act and contest it, right? Yeah, but he's already then entering an argument and conceding to the fact that he has infringed upon it, but can contest it. He's entering. But again, he's already done that anyway by consenting that it's cannabis and
So,
assenting and acknowledging and establishing the fact that it is cannabis in the first place.
yeah,
The
in
woman
the
clearly
interview
says
again, wouldn't
40 odd plants of fully mature
Game
cannabis
over.
plants, blah 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 blah. Is this your
Yeah.
first crop? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, yeah,
That's about that
complete
interview
one
again, isn't it?
utter.
Badda. That's what,
He's-
from that interview, yeah?
Yeah, that interview's fucked him.
Yeah. So what, let's say, hypothetically, what if the interview was made inadmissible? How then would the prosecution's case stand?
I think it's too late. Pretty sure it is.
What, you know it is, or just think it is?
If Boppa wants to say he has a letter of his solicitor saying that the interview footage is, or if he hasn't got a solicitor, if he's had documentation verifying that the interview is inadmissible, then obviously that's a foundation to go upon. But I haven't heard that.
Would
I
that
don't
give
hear
him a
him saying
chance of
it.
a defence then?
I'm not hearing him saying it.
Yeah, but he's saying hypothetically it's a possibility.
Hypothetically, if that was inadmissible, blah blah blah, I suppose, yeah. Like I have no.
Would you be able to help
Those
him
principal facts of the case, right? Yeah, and I know of the letter that you sent at picking the fight. I know, but you fucked it, right? Yeah, but you know, hypothetically,
Yeah.
if you could undo all that you've been done, then you're still above the commercial level. So even if it was coffee beans or runner beans or strawberries, you're still getting done for tax evasion or theft of sorts.
I
Anyway,
don't
you're
know
still
if
getting a
they'd
slap
be
on the
tax
wrist,
evasion.
no matter what plant it was. Doesn't matter what plant it was.
To tell you,
If you're there and
could I argue? Can
Oh,
I argue?
that's about herbage, isn't it? That's because it's related to herbage, yeah? That's all
yeah,
it's like.
it doesn't matter. It's above the commercial. It's above the commercial level.
So what if you grow too many coffee plants, you're going to get hurt?
Yeah, I can show you case law recently. I can show you a bust
Case law.
recently within a Commonwealth
plant.
state where ginseng was busted.
Is
I can
ginseng
tell
a
you-
controlled substance?
I can tell you of one over in New Zealand where a guy got busted for growing too many tobacco plants, growing his own tobacco. He had too many.
Is tobacco a controlled substance?
Well, he was. I suppose it would be, yeah, but he was growing his own tobacco plants.
I'm
So,
pretty
but
sure
he-
it's related to the
It
controlled
went-
substance.
there's
it
an
went- It went
acceptable
beyond
level of how much
personal usage.
plants.
It went beyond personal
Yeah,
usage.
exactly. He
So-
grew too many. It wasn't the fact that he was growing them; it was the fact of the quantity that he got
Okay.
busted.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's the
fine.
control.
So, Badda, let's hypothetically say, right, that the interview was made inadmissible. Would you be able to help Bop a lot then at all?
It really depends on many other mitigating circumstances.
Mitigating.
It's difficult to
mitigating
it's
implies
difficult.
that guilt.
Every individual case is adjudicated and judged upon its individual merit. So hypothetically, if you could take one aspect out, perhaps something else might have popped up. Who knows? When you remove one hypothetical, how many other probability outcomes are you determining? It's incalculable.
Well, personally, I would have thought the interview was quite paramount to the CPS's case, but maybe
Definitely.
you can correct me. Well, this is what I'm saying. So let's
confession.
hypothetically say.
It's a confession. It's a testimony.
Let's hypothetically say that's not there anymore. Then how then would Bop best be about going about his case?
If there was no confession at all, that it never
Well,
existed.
if the interview was made inadmissible, the confession's obviously happened, but
So
obviously if we now
if
make
it-
it inadmissible, so the
it's
court can't act on it, how then would you advise Bop go forward?
But he still wrote the letter.
I don't think the letter he wrote to the Queen is in the indictment, is it, Bob?
Yeah, he's in there.
Is
You
it?
wrote a
no,
letter to the
not what
council
they've
as
sent
well.
me. Not what they've sent me. No. he's only he's only when the second before last hearing I was at, he
Didn't
said to the prosecutor, he said, "This is you do see, you do realise this is a skeleton argument, didn't you?" And
What was the skeleton argument?
my paperwork that I've sent to the Queen.
Oh, what you'd give him.
Did
In
you
other words, it's got no meat. It's got no
did you send it
substance.
to your
It's got
local
no.
council as well? Proper luck. Did you send it to your local council?
Nah,
Just
that's
to the Queen?
irrelevant anyway. That shit.
All right, it's irrelevant. But did you send the letter to the Queen or your local? Did you send it to your local council?
No.
Just the Queen.
Yeah, and David Cameron.
Hey, badda.
Letter to the Queen and David Cameron, telling him you're going, please come get me. You're a bopper, like you're a legend, mate. You're a fucking legend. But mate, seriously, you just gotta put your hands up now and say, listen, all right, fair cut. You got to do whatever. Learn from it. Learn from it. You got legendary status.
That's what
You got legendary status because of that, man. Just take your glory, but don't think you're actually worming your way out of this, mate. I can go over as many hypotheticals with you as you want. You're not worming your way out.
I know I'm not badda. I know.
Bob, let me have a word with him quickly. Badda.
Please do.
The less time you spend away from Teacup, the better man you will be.
Come on, mate. I've missed talking to you. Let me have a word in, please. Badda. You know that the letter and the interview, let's say hypothetically both of those are inadmissible, how then would you help Bob a lot?
I'd help him by testing out his product and going, not bad, I'll have some of that.
Yeah, but he ain't got his product. The police have took that, the bastard.
How would they have got that? How would they have got that? He hasn't been, he's not even in an interview.
They seized his plants, Badda.
But he's not had an interview.
Mate, that's the problem.
All right, and if you're going to hypothetically... You're going to let me respond? You're going to let me respond? Hypothetically, right, yeah, if they've took his pants and everything like that, right, yeah, and he's had no interview, and that interview was inadmissible, right, yeah, you got to hypothetically tell me how and why, right, yeah, the interview or him not having an interview is inadmissible. How he goes about not having an interview.
Did you just ask me a question?
Yeah, like if you give me the hypothetical, how did you get from the police taking his pants from over the commercial level from him having no interview?
That's what I'm saying. Hypothetically, you know what hypothetical means, yeah.
Right. So how? So we had the interview, but it's inadmissible. Hypothetically, how did that happen?
Well, hypothetically, there was a law that made it inadmissible. I thought that would have been obvious. So
we'll say you found a loophole in the law, making that evidence inadmissible for whatever reason. Now, hypothetically, what would happen?
Exactly. Let's say there's a hypothetical law that exists that will allow that letter and that interview to be made inadmissible. Then, how would you go and help Bob a lot?
I lost signal. I didn't hear none of that.
Sorry.
I said your network connection is. Go for it again.
Go on, Mark. Explain it to me, please.
But basically, for whatever reason, if they manage to find hypothetically an act that makes that confession inadmissible for whatever fucking reason, what would you do? Is that correct, Tika?
Yeah, basically, let's hypothetically say a law exists that will allow us to make the interview and he's charged, inadmissible.
And he's being charged. And what's his charge? What's his charge in this hypothetical?
So what would the charge be if there was no
supply and possession and production?
Yeah, production.
Pick one.
I'd get him to get the judge to get the Crown to prove that it was cannabis.
Exactly. You can ask them basically, what do they mean by cannabis? Do they?
Let's say,
can you please, you'd send them an exhibit or a photograph of your herbage and say, do you mean this? Don't refer to them with
let's say they get the CPS gets an expert, right? hang on. Let's say the CPS gets an expert, right, and he decarboxylates some of Jamie's product that they've seized, right, and they do a THC test, and they work out that it is indeed cannabis, and it's an amicus curiae, a friend of the court, an expert that is willing to come and give this information to the court. Who are they going to believe, that Jamie when he says it's not cannabis, or the expert when he says it is?
It's a matter of.
Then you get. Hang on. But once that's happened, not only do you get to call in another expert to counteract that expert's testimony, and also you also get to cross-examine. So I will tell Boppa, if that's what the Crown wish to do, then let them do it, because we'll relish that day.
Oh, hanging themselves. Give them more rope to hang themselves.
Yeah, give them. The more they say, the worse it is for them. Why do you think they tried to get him to admit it was cannabis rather than them had to prove it was cannabis?
So,
if it was that easy, they would have done that. They don't need him to prove it, do they?
Okay, Badda, how would you and him go about getting an expert to turn around and say it's not cannabis when it was indeed cannabis that he was growing?
Right, it obviously was cannabis according to who? You. Now you're defining it.
Yeah,
it actually was cannabis. This bit isn't hypothetical. The cannabis is staying real in this, right? It really was cannabis he was growing. No, it's what I'm saying. Cannabis is hypothetical.
Your hypothetical doesn't exist. It will never can exist. Your hypothetical can't exist. It's an impossibility.
You can always get someone to come along who thinks he's a clever bugger than some other guy and rebut some other guy.
An expert in herbage. An expert in herbage.
Right. Expert in herbage or English literature. Do
you know any experts in herbage, right, that would come to court for Boppa? Because, I mean, if you do, that could be bloody important information to give Boppa if he does intend to fight his case.
Hold on a minute. You can summon a hostile material witness and actually, if it costs them a day's wage, offer to pay, and they will be summoned. The court will summon them for you.
As long as you give them remedy for their free.
I've done it. I've summoned people to court, but I had to offer them a day's wage, whatever their days up to a certain. I offered them up to £120.
Let's hypothetically say that the letter's there, right, and the interview's actually there, right, but we can still get this expert on herbage and run a defence. Well, not having this expert on herbage who will explain that it is herbage, like you explained, rather than cannabis, will that not then quash the Misuse of Drugs Act and the cannabis charge?
No, he's already admitted it. It's already a confession.
Hypothetically,
the principal part of anything is the most powerful.
Sure.
And his confession and testimony for it to be in cannabis came long before any expert on herbage.
So let's hypothetically say that the interview's not there anymore, but the letter's still there, okay, which will mean that basically he's admitting that he's going to intend to do that, and then the expert comes along and says, well, no, he's admitted he's growing a plant there, but he's not actually growing cannabis, he's growing herbage, all right, and there is no confession because the interview's hypothetically not there. How then would you deal with that one?
Well, you wouldn't. It would be the end of it. There'd be no more argument because they can claim, and they're the ones making the claim. They have to articulate exactly what they're meaning in a language that Bob can understand.
Better. So you've got one expert, right, that's saying it is cannabis because he's done a decarboxylation, and you've got the other expert that's saying it's herbage. All right, the interview's not there; it's inadmissible, so there's no confession. But yeah, the letter is there, which obviously suggests that Bob had the intention to grow his cannabis. How then would that?
You can't be forced to. You can't be forced to. You can't be forced, right? Yeah, to use that letter to, incriminate himself. However, if the CPS already have a copy because he's given them, or he sent it to the Queen, and it like yeah. So if he has sent the letter and they have it, right, yeah, then he's already relinquished that evidence. And if they want to go and find it and bring it up and say that he's actually called it cannabis himself in this letter right here, then they can enter it. He can't be forced to give it them, but off his own back, he has already given it them. So the only hypothetical you've got is if there was no letter, no interview, and he never said fuck all, and he's going into court next week without doing one YouTube video about it, winding all these people up, doing all these letters and anything. If that hypothetical exists, he can challenge and contest the fact of whether it was cannabis or not. He might get a lesser charge of supplying a controlled product without paying any tax. tax evasion, whatnot, and get a fine, right? Yeah, and he walk out of court that day. At the moment, he might be looking at jail, right? Yeah. So your
Well, even though it's
hypothetical
above the
is all
supply.
right, but if he sent the letter, he sent a letter. It's like, you know, someone else can go and retrieve the letter that's been sent to them, obviously, and
Can
share it with whoever they want.
Can he not?
But Boppa can't be forced. Boppa can't be forced to provide that letter to incriminate himself.
Boppa.
Can he
Yo.
not follow notice of repentance? Can he not
Yo,
rescind what he's already confessed? Can he not, you know, take back the confession? Can he not take back the thought that, you know, fuck, I thought I knew what you were saying. I thought those words you were saying were something that I recognised, but you know, in clarity afterwards, in hindsight, perhaps I don't know.
Ignorance of laws, no
Because
excuse.
cannabis is legally defined in this. No, you can't, because cannabis
but
is
he's
legally
not a legal-
defined within the statute.
But he's
You
not
could
legally.
do that if cannabis wasn't legally defined within that statute, right, as a controlled substance. Then yes, he could, but it is defined in an English tongue, and he has already admitted it. So it doesn't matter. I killed him, but I didn't mean to kill him. It doesn't matter. You killed him, right? It doesn't fucking matter, right?
He
Yeah,
can't
it doesn't matter, right? Yeah? If it's law, it applies to everything. Right, if you kill someone, right, yeah, if it's manslaughter, it's manslaughter, right? If it's premeditated, it's premeditated, right, yeah? And that's it. That's it. It's defined.
Have you
Defined. It doesn't matter whether you meant to or not.
Boppa, have the CPS got that letter?
Yeah, they have got it.
Okay, dude, thanks.
See, he can't be forced to. You can't be forced to use it against himself, but they already have a copy. So
What does that letter
there's
state?
no-
Does that letter
it's-
usually have to
it's-
spell it in an argument?
It's just like it's not just like cannabis. Cannabis is one sentence in it. It's just
So you've
nothing
mentioned the
just
word
about,
cannabis,
like,
yeah?
You let me talk. It's just yeah, I've said the word cannabis, yeah. It's just
Game over.
it's just, like just saying, it's
Let
a
him talk,
common
man.
law country. It's a common law country. You know what I mean? There's nothing like. You know what I mean? It's just fact, just like three-man facts, basically. Well,
So you
so-called
think
facts.
it's sort of a notice of intent, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what it was. A notice of intent and understanding and a claim of right.
Okay. It's one of the first things I did many years ago too. Back when I didn't know what I was doing, and before I'd studied a lot, I sent a huge, like, 8-page fucking thing to the cops on my first attempt at playing, and before I
Called a
fucking
rush
knew.
of blood to the head. It's called a rush of blood to your head. You all feel a bit of power. You all feel a bit of power. You read stuff.
Knowledge can be
You read
intoxicating.
words of law. Yeah, you read words of law. You feel empowered, right? Yeah,
Well,
and then you go looking for a fight. You go
Yeah,
looking
wow.
for a fight. And
But we all go through that, and then we learn from those mistakes and move forward and go, fuck, you know, it's just like becoming a new parent. You don't know what the fuck to do with that kid. But a few years...
Okay, so we all know that everyone goes through this rush of blood to the head, looking for a fight and empowered. The trick is learning how to control those emotions, and then actually knocking down and working out where the fuck you're going wrong.
We'll realise that it's not actually meant to be emotional at all. It's just paperwork. It's just business. No one is getting emotional apart from the... And you watch any fucking courtroom battle, the person that loses the plot, the person that loses their emotions, always loses. The one that stands there calmly, quietly, and lets the judge rule the thing, always gets the win.
Always.
Well, okay, not in a general sense. But the one that's sitting there calmly and not flying off the handle is the one that usually gets the final thing.
There's a famous quote out there. There's a famous quote out there from the 16th century by I can't pronounce his name anyway, but I'll say the quote. He who establishes claim through noise and command shows that his reason is weak.
Make a lot of song and dance about it, but at the end of the day, there's no substance to it.
Does that mean, like, he who screams the loudest doesn't always win?
I didn't know the guy. I don't know what he means. I can tell you what it means to me.
Go on then, do that.
Your interpretation of it.
Yeah, like if you're trying to make a big song and dance about something, then there's a good chance you're trying to actually cover up something you're actually guilty about.
Yeah.
Not too sure whether you did wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying, but yeah, obviously your words were. Hey, bad. Last question, mate. You gonna refriend me on Facebook now?
Um, if you stop spamming my shit, but I don't know, man. Wait, I don't know, because if I unblock you, I gotta wait 42 hours again. Why don't you just create a
Before you
little
can block me
fucking
again.
disposable?
Come on, mate. I thought we were on talking terms now. I thought we got over a little.
Why don't you just create yourself? Listen. Why don't you just create yourself a little disposable account you don't mind losing?
Oh, I'm not into
Everyone's
those
got one of them.
multiple accounts, better. I had one good account until somebody reported me and got it closed out.
No, listen. When I first started this scene, I had my Bada Bing account and I had it for years, innit?
Yeah,
Do
but
you know what I mean? It was
ain't
live, and
trying
I
to
learned
talk
the hard
to you,
Yeah,
way.
mate.
I
you,
learned the hard
your
way.
Daryl
You're the
Churchill one,
master.
I
your
learned the
Daryl
hard way, man.
Churchill one though. When I try and take, when I tag your name into a comment, all I have to do is type badda, and Daryl Churchill pops up.
Does it?
Yeah, I know,
That's
man.
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
That's because how much work he's put in. And but bad,
Popularity.
mate. Bad, mate. Honestly, I struggle controlling one bloody Facebook account. You know what I mean? And that drives me pretty well much insane. So the idea of having multiple accounts just ain't one for me. You know what I'm saying? So I would appreciate it if you could possibly unban me. And that I think we're on friendly terms now. You know what I mean?
Just stop being
What
an
you have to
idiot,
say?
badda, man.
Just realise you've all got to breathe between sentences. Again, it's the whole emotions get the hang of people and they start talking over the top of people. And just realise it's not, but we're all out there for a bit of knowledge. We're not out there to see who's got the biggest cock in the fucking room. Or who knows?
I'll give you one
We
more
all
shot
know
at it.
different. You know,
Nice
we
one,
all know
mate. I
different.
appreciate that, mate.
No, but
Well, that
if you think posting the same fucking picture on all my posts bothers someone like me, it don't. It's just like to me it just
Yeah,
looks
but
like you
you've been
put hurt.
spamming the shit out of me and all.
I've been posting good work on your wall, dipshit. If you don't want it there, delete it, man. I'm giving it you. I'm
Troll
sharing it
bop a
with
lot,
you,
but
innit?
mate,
I'm giving
I
you the
just need
time
to
of
go
day.
to the troll bop a lot for a bit. I just need to go to the toilet, mate. I don't really want to miss anything you got to say that's important.
charming.
I've shared good work on your wall today, Bapper.
No, I know you did, man. I know I liked it. No.
I'll have to have a look through it.
No, I struggled to find that fucking definition in it that something proved that didn't need to be fucking, whatever. Like, because I was racking my brain, like, I thought it was under res, innit? Like, yeah, and that's when I found that res publica. People that claim to be members of the public are making a maritime claim because someone that uses a thing cannot unuse it. And everything that's open to the public, like the sea and the oceans and the water canals and all that, is part of the public. Right, yeah? So being a member of the public and then saying I'm a common law man on the land and I don't stand on the maritime law is an appeal based on emotion that has no standing. So in Tyrone's video on the bus, common law of the land, I'm a free man on the land. Are you? And he tells the coppers, are you public servants? I'm a member of the public here, and rah rah rah.
He ain't using no free man
but
on the land.
what he was,
he ain't using no free
oh, he
man
did.
on the
He
land.
said on the bus, I'm a free man on the land.
No, he didn't. He didn't even know.
He did. Listen to it again. Listen to it again on the bus. He says, I'm a free man on the land.
He told me.
Seriously,
He
what would I?
about it.
Well, on that bus, he'd been learning it for a few days. That was his rush of blood to the head. You went whole hog and writ a letter to the Queen telling her I'm growing crops. What are you gonna do about it? And David Cameron, he got on a bus and had it out with a bus driver. If you're gonna get a rush of blood to the head, at least keep it low, man. But you gotta learn from your slap now. You're gonna get a slap buckle up. Learn from it.
Yeah, that's all you were saying earlier, but it was just the way you were saying it, better. You know what I mean? It was just, you know what I mean? You weren't. I know what you're saying. And of course, when I say when it goes wrong and that, then don't think I won't find out how it went wrong. You know what I mean? That's not going to stop me. I'm going to think, right, how did they? What happened? Wrong? What went wrong here then? You know what I mean?
Shall I tell you what I did once? I got slapped up. I got slapped about by a judge in it in a town. Intellectually, not actually physically. Like you know what I mean, right? And I felt pretty hard done by in it. But then, like 6 months, 7 months later, after studying in it, bang, it hit me. She taught me a fucking beautiful lesson, man. She taught me, and she educated me by giving me a slap. Oh, I hate. I wanted to. I was angry, and it smashing shit up around my house and that. But like, I was knuckled down, studying and everything. It was just years and years and years and years ago now.
Well, who's the badder, man?
Oh, just some judge, innit? Let me get to the end of the story anyway.
Oh, yeah,
right, basically, they ruled against me. They ruled against me, and I felt hard done by in it, and I was thinking, what the fuck? Anyway, 6, 7 months later, after studying and that, I realised then it was me, but she'd actually put me onto this knowledge with the judgment and the slap, right? Yeah, and really, I had her and that slap to thank for this now founded knowledge that I had on this particular. When I was explaining that definition to you yesterday, and to give you that definition, you wanted 500 hours of study on that definition alone from me. I've digressed on that and studied on it for weeks and months, not just hours at a time, man. Not just minutes reading one definition. I've digressed for hours upon hours upon hours, read it, reread it, and reread it again, and now I've got it all down in a nutshell to say that we're all children of law and children of Mother Earth. Right? Yeah. But anyway, the judge thing, right? Yeah. When I found out that I wouldn't have got this knowledge I had right now at this stage in my life unless I'd got given that slap. I got myself a nice bit of paper from the art shop in it, some nice calligraphy pens and everything, and I wrote this manuscript in it, a nice calligraphy writing. Basically, not thanking her and bowing down to some sort of master in it, but acknowledging and respecting the fact that she put me on. I'm giving you acknowledgement to the fact that you knowingly or unknowingly put me on to a higher and truer meaning of education. Signed it in my master title and everything, rolled it up, put a nice little ribbon around it, took it down there in it, and I went up to the counter. Was just kind of a thank you letter, really, and got a receipt for it, sweet. And no doubt she got it. Like, yeah, no, I got no reply or nothing like that. I wasn't expecting one. It was like my way of returning the thanks. Even though it slapped me about at the time and I was fucking angry about it, yeah, and I was like, they're all corrupt and all this and all that, like, yeah, and I realised now actually it was me, and I actually thanked the individual that gave me a slap about boppa, and that's something I've probably never been able to do before in my life, and that's something you will know strength and real power and a true master of yourself when you're able to give respect to the people that show you where you're going wrong in life, even if at the time it doesn't look like it, and it looks harsh, yeah, and it looks like it's they're trying to cause shit in your life, or just they don't like you and they're just being nasty to you. Like some of these people in it, they're doing it for for different reasons, man. And you'll know you're a man, innit? You'll know you're a man when you're able to do something like that.
Did you start?
You'll know you're a master. You'll know you're a master of yourself when you're able to do something like that, innit? And truly mean it.
Did you I missed the first bit of that, but could you just? I've got the end bit there.
Now I get left alone now, boppa.
Yo, watch this. You ready? Watch this.
Do it. Yeah, you need to talk, man. That's it. Go. Oh, wasted.
Right, listen. I fucking forgot where we was anyway. Yeah, let's just
Yeah, honesty is really valued throughout the judicial system, boppa. And if you know you're going wrong in it and you know you fucked up, if you walk in that court and be honest with yourself and the people in front of you, you will be acknowledged and given respect for it, man. You try and make things worse and dig yourself a bigger hole, you're gonna fuck it up, mate. And this is probably the best advice you will ever get off anyone online in regards to matters of law and dealing with your case as it stands. If you'd known me right at the beginning, before you ever entered into an interview room at a police station and got nicked for it,
Should have been
things
alright
might
then.
be different now. But it's not. It's not. We got to deal with what you're dealing with, innit? And I'm giving it to you straight, mate.
Badda.
And it's down to you now, really. It's down to you, mate. Yeah. You know, the
Badda.
shills out there will be telling you to go, nah, do this, do that. They're not, it's only a plant. They can't do nothing. Blah, blah, blah. The shills will be egging you on to go in there and make it work.
Badda.
And watch you fall.
Badda.
Go on.
Did you because I only caught the last that bit you were talking about there, where you basically put in a letter or something to the court, and obviously some I think apology or acceptance, saying thanks or something. Yeah. Did you it was that court case we were talking about where you fucked up?
No.
Because I think
I haven't fucked up any court case.
I thought you said that you fucked
I had
up.
a judgment go against. I had a judgment go against me, and it supported me. I just couldn't see it at the time. I didn't see the lesson that I thought I'd been. I thought,
like boppa
through my own ignorance.
You fucked up.
Why are you speaking over me, man? Why are you speaking over me?
My question, mate. Sorry, go on, crack on.
You asking me about the which court case it was, and I'm trying to tell you. A judgment went against me, which actually supported me. I didn't see it at the time, and I thought I was hard done by. But when I'd actually gone and studied months and months and months later, I realised that it was me that went wrong, and I wrote a letter to the judge that heard the case, and acknowledged. I gave her acknowledgement for putting me onto a truer meaning of education, because without her intellectual slap at that point, I would never have got to where I'd got in my studies, and I had her in essence to thank for that. So at the time it looked like a slap, it looked like I'd been hard done by to me because I was full of ignorance and emotion. But when I actually analysed it all and deconstructed it all and studied everything behind it, I realised it was me, and I went wrong, and it was like, you know. Yeah.
What
And I wrote her a nice little letter acknowledging that.
That's what I'm saying. It takes a fucking big man.
A nice little letter acknowledging that.
How tall are you about that?
What? So admitting when you go wrong is not a good thing to do, is what you're saying?
No, that's what I just said. You know what I mean? Some people can't admit when they fuck up, badder. That's a good thing to do, mate. I'm being serious. I ain't trolling you.
Yeah, exactly. Honesty is really. Yeah, the judicial system really loves honesty. It respects it and upholds it and acknowledges it in a big way. And I know that. I felt it.
And you fucked up, and you fucking learned from your mistake, and by learning on that, your ignorance fucking hurt you at the time, and now you've become wise to it, enlightened because of it, because the judge is giving you a bit of enlightenment, which is basically what you're saying Boppa should kind of do, and he should get enlightened by at the end as well, yeah?
It's down to him. It's all down. Ultimately, it's down to him. Yeah, if he wants to go and pick a fight with intellectuals, an intellectual fight with intellectuals that are capable and have dedicated their lives to studying law, you will get one, and you ain't gonna win it. Not this time around. Right? And you're not armed adequately, and you might not like to hear that right now, but it's the true meaning of it. Right? Yeah, you could study law for 300 years if you live that long and still be on a pinhead of knowledge. So just think about that for a second, and then realise how lost you are when you come up in front of a judge or a group of judges that have dedicated an abundance of their life and to studying the art of law, right? And administrating it. You're not going to outsmart these people. You're not going to outsmart these people, and none of the dimwits on fucking YouTube are doing it either. These are honourable, respectable people. Respect them, man, and you'll get a bit.
Alright, sweet. Can we talk about something else? It's just a shit topic.
Well, it's late, innit? This has been going on for hours, man.
Yeah, I know. Come on, let's cover some other topics.
Such as? Yeah, I've unblocked you anyway. You can have a look on his wall now and have a look at the work I've posted all day.
I know, mate. I've seen your hard work. I've got another account that I had a look and followed along with.
How'd you get away with a parking ticket then?
Get away with.
Yeah.
You don't. That's acting unhonourably. You pay the parking ticket, Bob, a lot.
I'm not going to pay a fucking parking ticket.
Well, go on,
So what
sort
you
out
want?
that.
So it's not about what you want. The real question is, right? Yeah. Right, see, the answers in life, Buffalo, are only ever better questions. If you want to get away with something, you're already admitting you did it. You ain't getting away with it. Right, and if you want to contest something, right? Yeah, that's a whole
Yeah. I'm going. Let's just
How do you
pretend
contest?
Alright,
Yeah,
pretend
all right. So I'll learn the art of answering a better question. Right, now, how do you contest a parking ticket coherently so it doesn't affect me financially? Yeah, that's the better question there, isn't it? Not get away with,
Yeah,
right?
cheers.
So how do you
Sorry.
contest a parking ticket? There's
Come
many
on, Bob,
ways.
that
First,
was a better question.
I know, man. My face is red and everything. I feel so embarrassed. But how do you contest a parking ticket without being financially slapped?
make them an offer. The Royal
Right,
Courts
so
of Justice accept for the lowest fines in the Royal Courts of Justice. They accept roughly a minimum of £2.50 a week, right? Yeah, and if it's good enough for the Royal Courts of Justice, it's good enough for any local council collecting revenue for parking
right,
offences. Yeah. So make them an offer. Make them an offer of £2.50 a week. Make them an offer of £2.50 a week. If they refuse the offer, they quash the debt anyway.
Well, you could do what I do. I know what to do. Do you want to hear what you got to do? You have to charge them a service charge. I've got a video.
Is that what you do?
There's a video on my channel where in this charity they keep on ringing up my ass, and I said to them, they kept on ringing, and I just said, look, I'll give you some money. I said, but I'll charge a service charge. And he said, oh right. At the time he didn't want to do it, but the service charge was always equal to the donation, and that's like the maximum.
And administrative fees.
Yeah, well, you could add that if you want, but the maximum I made about it was, I've forgotten it now.
Yeah. The maximum might be all well and good in an English realm, in an English jurisdiction, in an English setting, in an English court of law, if you can get it there. But you've got to try and assert.
I can't remember the maxim.
But either way, let's just say Let's just say your maxim holds water.
I ain't finished. So anyway, he said no. He said no. He didn't want to pay the service charge. So I said, right then. So I'm not going to donate. Can you not ring me anymore? And they ain't rung since. Bish bash bosh, bada bing, job done.
And that's how you sort out a parking ticket, yeah?
Yeah, that's how I sort out a parking ticket.
Buckle up.
Because
that sounds good, popular. I like that, guys.
It's a money-making corporation.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's insequential. Do you know what insequential means?
No.
Or do you know what a Pyrrhic victory means? Do you know what a Pyrrhic victory means?
No.
Right, a Pyrrhic victory means, right, yeah. Let's just say I could take you to court, right, yeah, for 50 quid, but you owed me. Well, it will cost me 150 quid to win the case. Right, yeah? Even if you had to pay me the £200 back. Even if you had to pay me the £200 back, right, yeah, every time you did. If it cost me more every time to take you to court for 50 quid and you didn't mind when it comes to it because you could always make offers at £2.50 a week to pay it back anyway, and I would obviously get it. Right, yeah. Obviously it's a Pyrrhic victory. It's costing me more than it is to sue you every time, right? Yeah, and you don't mind getting sued every time because you can pay it back at £2.50 a week, right? Yeah, no matter how many times you get sued. That's a Pyrrhic victory. Even if I win my case, it's going to cost me more to win it than it is than the debt's worth. So I might as well just write it off and just do no more business with it. If you've got like a £30 traffic fine ticket, whatever, right, yeah, in some cases, not all, right, yeah, but predominantly, right, yeah, in some cases, if it costs more to take you to court and get the money out of you, then it's just not worth their time. They've got so many fish in the pond anyway. You're one little fish that's just gone through the net. It doesn't mean what you did worked and would stand up in court. It just means that they can't be bothered to pay to get it there.
Yeah. But
That's it.
Badder,
Council
if it
tax and
don't
all those
go to
parking
court,
fines when they enter
if it
magistrate.
don't go to
When
court
those
and you don't,
parking fines, when
surely that's a
when the
win.
council tax, all those parking fines go to court, they're all private prosecutions administered by the local councils and their representatives. They are in essence private prosecutions. That's what they are. And sometimes it'll cost them more to get it out of you than what it is itself. It's called a Pyrrhic victory. Even though they'd win their case, they'd actually lose money,
That
and
makes
it's
sense.
just not worth their time. So that doesn't mean what you're doing works. Yeah. It just means that it's insequential.
Yeah, it
It
worked
just
for
would
me.
have happened anyway, regardless.
Yeah, but it
Your
worked for
case
me.
would
So
never
Badder,
have hit a fucking court of law.
Badder.
If you know, so that, in some aspects, just by challenging it, will drop it. It doesn't mean it will
Badder.
hold up in a court of law if they want to take it there. That's two different
Badder.
things.
Badder.
no,
Badder.
Yeah, it is.
no.
Badder. Badder.
When you're in court anyway, Bapala, I might pop down.
December the
Badder.
18th. Can you hear him take up?
I can
What
hear
for?
him, yeah. I don't think he can hear me.
Can you
Badder.
take up?
I can only hear him shouting my name out. I don't hear anything beyond
Oh
it.
yeah, that's what I was trying to get your attention, mate. I was trying to ask you a question. Is it okay to ask you a question?
So, what do you call? Hang on, let me ask Bapala a question. What you in court on the 18th of December? What's that for?
Just a hearing.
About?
Just for somebody to hear. Something like pre-case
You've been
hearing.
summoned to court for a hearing about what?
They just want me to appear.
What's the case being heard? At a hearing, a case is
Hey,
being
when you make
heard
a
to see if
special
there's enough
appearance, then they
evidence
bubble
there
up.
to take it to.
I'm performing. I'm performing there that day.
Right. So, what's the case being heard?
Don't know. It's just
Your plea.
yeah. Nah. That's bang and gun.
You begged, didn't you, Bob Lot?
Begged.
Yeah, that's what play means, is it not? Badder.
Certainly does. Man only ever to plead protestando.
No, come on. Oh, mate,
So how
please
can
don't.
you? What's the
I'm
difference
defining.
between
Yeah, I'm
plea?
defining.
What is the
Defining it
difference?
out my dictionary.
What's the difference between plea and as king?
Huh?
What's the
And
difference
then
between?
nowhere used as synonymous.
Yeah, but like it's still it's answering, isn't it? It's corresponding or whatever. Like you know what I mean? So how do you get
What?
away with that?
Right,
How do you?
protestando. I'm going to explain to you. You can go look it up in your dictionary. Protestando, the
Which
empathic
dictionary?
word formerly used in pleading. Right, yeah. When man pleads, right, yeah, he's begging. Right, yeah. Man only ever pleads or begs to the master of any given situation. If someone got a gun to your head and you want to live, I suppose, right, yeah, you'll plead for your life. If you don't care, right, yeah, you don't. Right, yeah, you don't plead, right, yeah, because you're not scared of dying. Right, yeah, but if you are pleading, you're begging for your life, right? Yeah, you're pleading for your life, right? Yeah,
Badder.
and man will only ever beg to the master of any scenario. So when you're protesting or pleading, you're begging.
Badder.
So
So I
protesting
wouldn't
and
have.
pleading are the same thing.
That's where
Please let me speak to
I would.
Badder.
If you was with me and if you knew me and I was with you, right? Yeah, but on the day of your
I
plea,
feel like a goose.
you would have said.
I know, didn't it
You
do
would have
nothing,
said
mate?
that day, innit? When the judge asked you, what do you plead? Right, yeah, you would have gone, I'm happy to remain innocent until proven to the contrary. And if the judge would have gone, I'll take that as not guilty, then you would have gone, no, that's not what I said. Didn't you hear me, Your Honour? Which is bouncing the honour back round down to him. So what is it you plead? Yeah, and you would have gone, I'm happy to remain innocent until proven to the contrary. Right, yeah? And
Badder.
you wouldn't have allowed a judge to enter a plea for you.
Badder. Badder.
What's up, man? Why'd you keep interrupting me?
Oh, sorry. This is what I was going to say. Would it be possible, right? Because I know you like to talk and that when you actually finish, right, that you can sort of like say, right, permission to speak, everyone else. So then I can stay muted until then.
That would
Say what?
work. That would work.
It would, wouldn't it? But
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna shoot
if
now. But, your
if you just
kids,
said at the end of every, yeah,
your
yeah.
kids. I'm gonna shoot now. I'll catch you in a
What?
bit. Yeah, peace.
What?
See you later, man.
What? Badda! He's gone again.
Fuck's
Oh,
sake.
oh, what did we do this? Was it me again?
I don't know. Don't know what happened there.
I hope he don't ban me on Facebook again. How you getting on Grand Theft Auto there?
Oh, I've just fucking shit.
Yeah, I know, it's trashed it. Alright, well, it's 20 to 4, so I think
You're
we'll go troll him on
joking.
Facebook for a bit. No,
Fuck off, is it?
it's 20 to 4.
Oh my days. Alright, sweet. Alright, cool, until tomorrow.
Alright, catch you later, dude. Bye.
Hold it. See you later, Mark.